Welcome back, everyone. I think Craig is going to be joining me. I'm actually not certain. But I guess I will remain in the Discord call. So, we've seen two matches so far in the round robin. Looks like there's three teams that are off to a really good start. Lol, Goodman, and Wolfson. Lol, in fact, having already used up their bye round, might even be looking like one of the stronger teams. But all three of them are well positive in the imp category. They've won both matches so far. Tulin, I think, actually is 1-1. Let me see what happened in round one. Tulin won their first match. They got 12.71. And yeah, they did end up losing their second match by a little bit less. But they're also above average. Hammond, Simpson, and Aker also are pretty close to average in terms of imps, although they're definitely below the 20 VP score line. And then, of course, at the very bottom of the standings, Reynolds and Capelli currently battling it out for 8th place, or 9th place. Well, also 8th place. So we're 2 matches in. There's going to be 7 more matches. 2 more today after this break that we've had. And it looks like we'll be starting up in about 4 minutes' time for the third set. But we watched a really nice set of boards from from the Goodman team, and specifically Ron Smith, who we were kibitzing. He had some really nice plays, especially in the 3-club contract that I guess his counterpart in the other room didn't really pull off the same sort of end play or the same sort of cross rough in the correct order, and so earned his side a nice little swing. But let's see if we can find some matches that are closer in standing. So I think we ended up watching Simpson against Tulin earlier. They are kind of close in the standings. We just ended up watching Goodman against Hammond. It might be worthwhile to watch Reynolds against Capelli if and when that match comes up, because that could easily be a deciding factor for which one of these teams makes it into the quarterfinals. We'll try and watch some of the higher ranking teams play, though. Like, we have yet to see Wolfson play. Maybe we'll focus on them if they're playing up against, like, Lol or Hammond or Tulin or something in this match. But we'll see. It would be nice if they had posted the kind of order that the teams were playing. I wonder if I could, like, reach out to someone who's playing in the event and ask them to, like, take a picture of their, like, a little traveler sheet for who they're playing and in which round, but I don't think I'm going to ask anyone to do that. I would rather have them focus on the bridge than be distracted by trying to help me out with my stream. So, anywho, we got about 2 minutes. Who looks strong so far? So, Goodman looked pretty strong in that match that we just watched, at least at our table. I don't think that Ron Smith or Billy Cohen did anything that I would even consider an error. Certainly not an egregious error. And we've seen quite a few of those from some of the other teams throughout the day. The Hammond team, the Tulin team. We haven't seen Wolfson play yet, so we'll definitely check them out. They're likely to be a really strong team as well. But Goodman and Lol, we also haven't seen Lol play. So Goodman and Lol are on a crash course for a semifinal matchup. And I think that's going to be a little bit unfortunate for a lot of fans because on the other side of the bracket, Wolfson playing up against Tulin, who is currently the 4th seed. It does feel like there are 3 top teams that are really competing at this point. The 3 that are currently at the top of the standings, Wolfson, Goodman, and Lol. So whichever team gets the 1 seed, which in this case is Wolfson, will be able to avoid playing up against any of the much stronger teams until they get to the finals. But here we go. 2 seconds. 1 second. Refresh. And we're into the 3rd round. So we have Lol against Wolfson. This is going to be a big match. Let's jump on into one of the tables. This should be a good table to watch. I mean, both tables would be great. But let's take a look at the Rodwell-Levin partnership, because I think this is a new thing that was just added. Hey, Craig.
Hey, so actually, I would make one very slight correction to all of your grumbling about how pointless this round robin is.
Yeah, go on.
It does count for tiebreakers, I believe.
Okay, true. Yes, if the final match score is 300 to 300 after 120 boards, then this will break the tie. You're correct in that.
Indeed.
All right, 3 passes go around to Camel, who opens a heart in 4th seat. He's got a 14 count, Singleton King of Clubs, but otherwise a suitable hand.
Yeah, I mean, I know there are times you might choose to open a no trump, like 3rd seat white. I love a no trump. 4th seat red, open a heart.
Yeah. 2 clubs, Drury, 3 or more hearts, limit raise by Berkowitz. Rodwell decides to pass. So it is 14. It's not like a super minimum opener. Camel does decide to show it as a full opener with 2 diamonds. And
I think you have to. Yeah.
I feel like Berkowitz is just going to take the plunge with the Singleton diamond. I mean, maybe he still signs off in 2 hearts. Okay, he does.
I think he has the middle course of bidding. Well, I was going to say he has the middle course of bidding 2 spades, but I mean, I think if he had a 4th trump, he would love his hand here, even with 2 aces and a singleton. Maybe wait for partner to make one more try. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems reasonable.
Camel,
He's just passing the blame back to partner if partner doesn't bid game and it's cold.
yeah, like 2 spades with ace 6 5 deuce isn't that attractive. Like partner's gonna misjudge the value of something like queen doubleton.
Yeah, so Michael does decide to sign off. And, I mean, is 4 hearts going to make? There's a club and
I mean,
2 spades to lose, or maybe a club, a spade, and like a trump or something. I mean, it looks like 4 hearts is going to come home. It might not be a great contract, but vulnerable at imps, you don't need everything to be the most amazing contract for it to be the right place to play.
I mean, it's a bad contract though, right? You have to rough a diamond, which means you need exactly king doubleton or singleton king on side.
I mean, sometimes you can rough a diamond and a spade.
Uh, by pitching, yeah, that's true. Okay.
Like, I'm not claiming that it's some above 50% contract, but it kind of feels close to this borderline of like 36% or whatever it is we need for
Yeah.
vulnerable imp game. It's like
Right.
very borderline.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Well, Michael in 2 is going to have no trouble. He's now like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to cash all of my aces and kings, and we'll see how many tricks I get from here. So club
Yeah.
lead, Rodwell should fly ace. He does.
Yeah, I think holding the queen, that's a pretty easy play.
Yep.
Even the jack, like there's just no reason to duck from any of those holdings.
So
All
now
right,
that
so
Rodwell basically has a full count on the hand, we'll see how he chooses to defend. I mean, it does look like Michael's going to end up with 10 tricks from here.
right.
So Trump returned to try and prevent a big cross ruff of some sort.
So I have a okay. So I have a kibitzer who's asking if there's a way to send direct messages on Twitch, and I do not know the answer to that.
You can. I mean, I don't know why anyone would send direct messages on Twitch. Like, okay, you can, don't is the answer. Like,
All
just
right.
type into the chat. Um, isn't it 11 tricks from here, losing just one more spade? Well, what do we do about the third spade? Because we can't rough it and dummy.
Uh,
Yeah,
sorry,
so
I'm
10
just bring up
tricks.
your screen to have your chat window available. Yeah.
15 count for Berkowitz. You can, yeah. So Richard, I think they're referring to like the actual direct message feature of Twitch, because maybe a lot of people are coming over from BBO and are used to like private messaging the commentators about stuff. But through the streaming, you can actually just type into the chat and not have to worry about that thing. And if you're concerned about like you don't want your message seen by a bunch of people, then you probably shouldn't be typing it to the commentators in the first place. um, so, like, I've used the DM feature on Twitch to contact other streamers if I want to set stuff up. Like, I've used it to talk with Gavin. I've used it to talk with, I mean, other people who stream bridge stuff when I've tried to coordinate things. But for the most part, I just talk in the chat.
Yeah, I usually keep a window of your Twitch stream up, to be able to follow all of the text chat people are sending at you.
Yeah.
So, mine I can see. I don't really have any, but if I did, I could see it in the Streamlabs window.
Mm-hmm. All right. So no Trump transfer to spades. Michael Sand is pretty garbage. It's 7, but 5-3-3-2,
Yeah.
bad spade suit, a bunch of queens. So 10 of clubs lead runs around to the queen. Good play by Bobby, not playing the king. I mean, fairly standard, but this does give Declare a little bit of a guess. Although that 8 of clubs is going to be awfully suspicious, so I think Declare is going to guess the club suit. But David's going to work on trumps. Run the 8 of spades. So let's see. Diamond switch. Declare will play low because he can't really do anything if the king is offside. I don't know if Rodwell has a good solution to this problem.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, he tries the 9 of clubs, which is going to be less
this isn't
successful
it.
than a
Yeah.
low club. But now the clubs are unblocked even. So, spade up. I mean, presumably Rodwell is just trying to get his partner a club ruff if David had a doubleton spade, which he could on this auction. So there's the next club. And when Bobby doesn't ruff, this will be an easy claim for declare pull the last trump, cross to one of the red suits, and pitch all the heart losers. So another game missed. What were they thinking?
I mean, this one's a white one, but obviously this one feels kind of reasonable, right? Well, no, I'm sorry. I missed how many trump tricks you're potentially off. Reconfiguring my windows and kind of didn't see the full layout.
Well, we are full 2 boards ahead of the other room. We've only played 2 boards, but we're still 2 boards ahead of them. All right, Michael opens a diamond in second seat. Unfavorable. Bobby says his hand with 18 is too good to overcall spade, so he starts with double. I wonder if Rodwell's going to bid 2 diamonds with the north hand.
Yeah, I guess a little light, but only a little, and it does make sure you always get to your best fit.
Yeah, he does decide to bid a spade. Probably planning on bidding hearts next.
Yeah, this is a spot where you do not bid up the line. You preserve your rebids.
So Bobby is able to bid 3 spades, and Eric's definitely going to take the push into 4 spades. I wonder if he cues 4 diamonds on the way. He doesn't. Wait a second, aren't they just like cold for 6?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe he should be cue bidding. I mean, Bobby showed a huge hand here.
Yeah, I guess they're not completely cold. There's still this issue of what to do with all of Bobby's small clubs. Like, yes, you can pitch a diamond on the third heart, and yes, the club ace rates to be on side on this bidding, but with trumps 3-1, you still have a potential loser.
I mean, do you though? Like, you can ruff 2 things in the south hand, and then just draw trumps ending in north and lead a club up. You can. Oh, yeah, so you have to ruff 3.
Yeah, you have to ruff 3 things. 6 is maybe playable, but it's I don't think it's going to make on this layout. Either way, I do kind of agree with you that maybe Rodwell's hand is almost worth a cue bid. Like, maybe it is worth a cue bid. Who knows? You've already limited your hand with 1 spade. Like, how much better could it be?
Well, that's it. I mean, on a really bad day, you could have 3 spades.
Right.
Meanwhile, in the other room, we did bid 4 hearts on that hand where Berquist Camel had a Drury auction, so that's 10 imps to law right off the go.
Yep. Yeah. Zia and Michael were able to get to the 4 heart game, and it wasn't the prettiest spot, but it did come home. Rodwell being overly careful here. I mean, he can absolutely just go like king of spades, ace king of hearts, probably. Or even 2 more rounds of spades, ace king of hearts, play a spade over to North's hand and pitch a diamond, and then like lead a club up. He always has 10 tricks, so spade to the 10. Michael shows out.
Yeah, so that, and of course, you just have no entry back to Rodwell's hand now. But if you wanted to get fancy, maybe you can just rough things high in the south hand, knowing it's safe.
So he does unblock the hearts. Now spade over.
And trumps and claim.
Bad form, playing the 3 of spades to the queen. He should have played the jack of spades to the queen.
Just in case he needs that 8 of spades as an entry.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously it doesn't matter, but I just like...
Right, I mean, it will be an entry, but via club rough.
Yeah.
Which you need it for anyway, so...
So, club to the king.
Alright, 11.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we have a lot of potential for swings on these first few boards. I mean, obviously, we saw the 10 imps for the 4 heart contract. They made 11 tricks in the other. Hold on a second.
I know. I didn't even want to see the play.
Oh, Garner
And they
led a low
somehow,
diamond from the Jack 10 at trick
yeah.
1, so declares Ace King Queen 9 took 4 diamond tricks. I see. I got it. Wow.
Yeah, I got a feeling Bobby's probably not any happier at the moment with Rodwell than he was with Weinstein after the previous event.
I think it was fine. He was upset about one hand, but it's, these things happen. So,
It's pretty conservative of Rodwell to never show any any values there after Bobby showed a monster.
sure. Well, Camel has a monster this hand. He opens a diamond. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, two no trump is probably a little, it's not quite enough, and two clubs and two no trump is kind of weird, but this is not going to solve that problem either.
No, yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking. Like, should we open this 2-0 or two clubs and rebid 2-0? I actually like the latter because all of our values are prime. We don't need much in terms of entries to partner's hand to take our tricks. Um,
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's like some, old school view that you don't do that when you have a fully unstopped suit.
yeah, that's fair. So Michael opens a diamond, pass around to Rodwell, who balances with 1 spade, not 2
Two,
spades. Um,
two spades seems a little more mainstream. I don't know.
yeah, I'm a little surprised, but maybe he just doesn't like it because he has 3 small diamonds and he's 6-3-2-2. Anyway, Michael decides to show big hand with 2 spades. I would call it game forcing because it usually is, but probably not when partner's a passed hand. So David bids 3 diamonds, and that seems likely to end the auction.
Yeah, I mean, Hamill gave it his best shot, right? Hoping that he could transfer to a no trump stopper and raise it.
So Jack of spades, Rodwell will overtake probably with the queen. He might think about how he wants to play his spade honors because he has the choice of playing the ace, king, or queen in whatever order he wants. Probably not ace then queen, but maybe like queen then ace or king then ace or queen then king to show
I
a variety of like
mean,
suit preference things.
well, I think one possibility is win the ace and I was going to say play a heart to force partner, to give you heart roughs, if he has a diamond entry. I don't know.
Maybe.
Because like here, like if Levin has a diamond card, that's great. We promote it, but like then what? Like Bobby's gonna be end played if he had, if it goes ace of spades, rough over rough, Bobby's end played.
Yeah. I mean, Rodwell doesn't know that Michael has a 6 card diamond suit, so there's no guarantee that Bobby has only 1 diamond.
Sure, that's true. You could have a diamond to exit with. Although if it's like over rough with a queen, and then exit, that's not great either because that just picks up what would have been a trump trick if Dummy's entryless.
Yeah, I think I like this King of Clubs play. It's a
Yeah.
practical chance to try and like score some defensive tricks. Now all Rodwell needs is for his partner to have the Queen of Clubs and a diamond winner.
Uh, I mean, is that all he needs?
That is all he needs. Yeah, because
Well, what's the fifth trick then?
the club rough.
Oh, right. If you can get him with a diamond, yes, it's true.
Yeah, so this seems like a good attempt, at least from Rodwell's perspective. Maybe just as unlikely to work as continuing the ace of spades, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess we are assuming, of course, that a club rough is not over roughed, but
mhm,
as you say, there isn't much else to play for.
yeah. All right, so Michael's going to do the, as we've learned in the past, the quote unquote strong player thing, where he runs a long suit before just cashing his winners. um, he obviously has 9 tricks in the bag, and he's just hoping to potentially throw someone in to lead away from the Heart King. Cashing the Club Queen before continuing diamonds feels a little weird to me. It like clarifies the position for the defense a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh my god, Bobby did it. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was wondering if this was gonna happen because Bobby's best chance to beat it is if Michael thinks that he can now exit a club and end play
right.
Bobby into leading away from the Heart King. This is like a big match point thing. But no, Michael cashes the Heart Ace. So he gives up a couple of imps. I think this is less likely to work at teams or in imp scoring because like players will often just cash
Right.
out if they're afraid that they could go down otherwise. But yeah, good try by Bobby. East West have another big fit here. Bobby opens a heart. East West are cold for a club slam. It might even be easier to get there now that Bobby's opened because the King of Diamonds is likely to be on side. Maybe it's just impossible to get to the club slam. Okay, I take it all back. But,
Yeah.
like, I mean, it is cold. So what does Michael do? I mean, probably start
Wait,
with 2 spades.
I'm not seeing it. Oh, do you have enough entries to set up the spades? Is that the idea?
No, you just take a diamond hook and then rough a diamond and rough a heart.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah. Uh, well, this is.
Okay, 2 spades. I think this is going to get David to bid 3 no. I like
Uh, he might be three hearts, hoping to protect something in Camel's hand. I don't know.
that's true. That's possible. He could bid 3 hearts, but I don't think he's just going to bid 3 clubs. Like, yeah, his heart stopper's a little bit flimsy, but he does have 16. So he does want to show extras here.
Yeah, I mean, he's made, not just a forcing bid, but also a pretty forward-going bid, right?
Depending on how you play it. I mean, some players play 2 spades here as non-forcing.
I think in this position, there aren't many experts who play this as non-forcing. Like, if it goes like, a heart is spade, like past 2 clubs, I think most people play that as non-forcing, but same level advances, I think it's pretty common to play as forcing.
Okay, David bids 3
Yeah,
diamonds. This
I
is
like this bid.
actually a pretty good bid as well, right? Like his partner can check back with 3 hearts for a stopper. So he's showing his values. His values are in clubs and diamonds, and he's
Mhm.
letting his partner still like try for 3 no trump, which he would be happy to bid.
Right. And if you're Camel, let's say you do bid 3 hearts, like I was gonna say, like, or you could just raise clubs.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like 5 clubs. I mean, again, Camel doesn't know what's happening in his partner's hand, but it sounds like
Right.
partner's uncertain about no trump, and his hand doesn't look like no trump anymore. So he just tries for the most likely game, 5 clubs. David's going to be upset when he sees the dummy, but he probably knows that it's really hard to get to the slam.
So it's a little weird because I think Camel knows that Berkowitz has some heart length. Like, I guess it could only be two, but wouldn't one of North or South have been three hearts at some point if David had a singleton heart, or or often even doubleton?
Sure, but why does David have to have a heart stopper?
Well, no, he doesn't. But when he has heart length, if he does have a stopper, maybe 3-0 is a better target. I don't know. Or maybe not because we can rough hearts. Yeah, who knows?
Well, 2 rounds of trumps. David's just going to play a diamond to the queen, and that'll be the end of the hand. There it is. He asked about the Diamond King. Bobby said, yep, I have it. So 12 tricks. Potential for a swing, but I mean, I think it's difficult to reach the club slam.
Hard. It's really hard to get to that one.
Yeah.
Perfect fit, extra trump length in hand that, otherwise is kind of broke and it's still on a finesse.
Well, what a hand we have here.
Yeah, so looks like a two-way four of a major make, huh? Like north-south make four hearts and east-west make four spades.
North-south can get club rough against spades.
Right.
So 2 passes around to a spade. Is Bobby going to bid? I think the answer is no. His suit is pretty terrible. 6-3-2-2. He's vulnerable. I mean, there's not many redeeming qualities about that south hand.
Yeah, and I do wonder whether you might have been tempted if Rodwell was not a passed hand, which would possibly leave a heart game in the picture.
Sure.
It might still be a little too much, but here I think it's very unattractive, and the other way, at least there's a winning case for it.
Yeah, now David's thinking, I mean, I think he's just going to bid a no trump. This hand is probably not good enough for a direct 2-spade raise, although it's fairly close. Like queen 10 third of spades with a roughing value, he does decide to bid 2 spades.
Well, I kind of like 2 spades as a two-way bid, where if Camel has a ridiculous third seat opening, it probably once you already gotten past both north and south, it just steals it. And when Camel has a really strong hand, like maybe your hand is adequate.
Yeah.
If it makes a game draw, you can decline it. But yeah, if Camel's over there with just, some 9 count with 5 spades and decided to open, this went really well for us.
I think a lot is going to hedge on whether Camel decides to make a slam try, because from his perspective, if David's hand is like the ace king of clubs, which I guess it could be, that it's very specific, but if David's hand is just the ace king of clubs and nothing else, then 6 spades is basically cold. If he decides to splinter 4 hearts, I actually don't know if that would be his choice for slam try. He might do something else. But then I believe Bobby might actually get off to the ace of hearts lead. And then he will be able to get a suit preference signal from Rodwell and find the club rough. If Michael just bids 4 spades or does something else, I think Bobby might just lead a diamond.
Right, and of course, once, normally your suit preference would be when dummy has a singleton, because that's the one you can see. But if Camel is splintered, then you can also see that one, so it's fine for Rodwell to suit preference. There's no chance of a misunderstanding.
Yeah, so I do believe the fate of 4 spades is going to hinge on what Camel decides to do over 2 spades here.
Yeah.
He's thinking real hard about like the types of hands that David could have. And I mean, I'm sure there are constructions where 7 spades is cold, right? If David has a club void and the ace of hearts, then there's real chances in 7 spades.
Yeah, and the opponent's going to be a trump, but then maybe partner's allowed to have the queen of diamonds.
Yeah. So, I think it's very reasonable for Michael to like start making slam tries, and David's gonna be like,
Or,
"I'm sorry, I bid two spades, pard."
yeah, yeah. Or David is regretting everything here. All right. So,
Okay,
yeah,
so
we'll
three clubs,
wisely
three
give
spades,
up.
four spades. Is this gonna fetch a diamond lead from Bobby, or is he gonna lay down the heart ace?
Eesh. I mean, or a Trump possibly, right? I don't think
Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah. Trump makes a lot of sense as well. To just be passive, he does lead a trump. So now Camel needs to find that 10 of clubs. I think.
Huh? I mean, I think so too, right? He's got a heart and two clubs off the top, and I don't see any other
I
way
think he can
to
do a little better. If he risks
like off the
cashing the ace
diamond.
king of
Yeah.
diamonds before pulling a second trump, he can strip the diamonds and exit a heart. And the opponents can, of course, play back a second heart, but now he gets like the benefit of being able to like potentially end play someone in clubs who doesn't have a third club to cash.
Right. I mean, but that's the same as guessing the 10, right? Because either way, he has to lead it through North Doubleton Honor, you know?
No, 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 no. So like follow the
I
play.
understand what you're
When
saying, but
hmm?
yeah. No, no, I understand what you're saying, but on this hand, those are equivalent.
um, I mean, we could play north for the 10 of clubs. Like that is a thing that we could decide to do in the play. I don't expect him to, but that would be possible.
Oh, as you're saying, yes, if we run the 9 of clubs to south after everything else is stripped, we'll misguess the clubs and then get it back by in playing north.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah,
see
sir.
if Michael decides to take this line. I think he probably will because it just adds a little of extra protection. So he's gonna
Yeah.
unblock the ace king of diamonds now. Hold. I'm very uncertain about whether he'll do this, but I think this is the right plan. And if he does it, then yeah, he plays a second spade. So now we don't have the opportunity. We can't strip both red suits. And unfortunately, this means we just have to guess the clubs.
Yeah. And I wonder if he might go right here. Because that Trump lead is kind of revealing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess not really, because Bobby, or because kind of a big clubs thing, like, might Bobby have led like ace double clubs trying for a rough, but not after the 3 club bid?
Well, I think no matter what we do, we should definitely exit a heart.
Yes.
Because we'll get some more information before we have to make our decision. We can always cross to the 10 of spades if we want to run the 9 of clubs later. But like here's a big point about stripping out the hand. Had we stripped
I
out the
mean, that's a good
hand,
play too, by the way.
what?
Yeah. That was a good play, by the way.
What was a good play? Oh, the Jack of Diamonds?
Because if Rodwell covers, it's also over.
Yeah. Okay, good point as well. Pretty unlikely that the defenders would fall for that. So yeah, I think Michael is now regretting that he hadn't stripped out the diamonds before pulling trumps.
Mhm.
Like, just imagine if the 10 of diamonds had been roughed in this spot. The opponents can't plan clubs and can't plan diamonds, so they have to rough our last heart for us back in our hand. And now what we do is we play a club to the 9. And it doesn't matter if we lose to the 10 in North's hand, as long as the club honors are split between the opponent's hands, which is pretty likely, right? Because
Right.
Now, like whenever the clubs are 3-2 or 4-1, I mean, it basically doesn't matter. The opponents can cash that 10 of clubs and another high club honor, but they can't get back to their partner's hand to cash the final club, and they'll have to give us a rough slough, allowing us to make the contract. At this point, we're kind of down to this position where now we do need to guess the club suit. Oh, Bobby. I mean, anyway, this makes Declare's life easier. Bobby not covering the Queen of Clubs with the King. He obviously didn't know what was going on in the suit, so it's very reasonable.
Yeah, and it's not like Camel. Like, what difference did it make, right? If Bobby played low on the second one, Camel wasn't going to play it for his king not having led one.
That's true. It probably he was always going to get it right once he led that Queen of Clubs. So good guess by Declare in the end position. I mean, these players do tend to make a lot of correct guesses, but I do feel like Camel that like giant pause and then lead the Jack of Diamonds and then unblock the King of
Yeah,
Diamonds. It felt a lot like, oh, I'm sorry, I've missed a better line of play.
yeah.
All right. Rodwell gets to open his strong club after all on the north hand. Spade by Bobby. So David can't bid two spades. That would be natural. Which
No,
means,
we can double it to no.
yeah. Um, so that is the kind of decisions that he has to make. I mean, it's a really good hand. It's 19.
Yeah, you'd love the hearts to be a little stronger, but other than that, this is and it's got a lot of defense too. If the opponents get to some high level spade contract, whatever you do now, you can double that and feel like you've shown your hand fairly well.
Yeah, Shmeeblast is 2 no trump directly, not specifically hearts and diamonds. I don't think it is the way most people play in the US, but in other countries, I wouldn't be surprised if 2 no trump showed the other two suits here.
I would think even in the U.S. this shows the other two. Um, just because the opponents have, after a club passes spade, like you don't worry about your two suited bids showing clubs.
Got it. Well, they
Here,
have a different way to show both red
yeah,
suits, so two clubs. Presumably, then 2 no trump is showing both minors in this auction.
right. And meanwhile, how are they doing here? So,
Well, we should first ask how many clubs is Rodwell bidding, because he's gonna bid an awful lot of clubs right about now. Three
I was gonna
clubs.
say, I actually think you might only bid three. Yeah,
So
like
they
there's no reason
play
to
whatchamacallit. Good, bad, 2 no trump.
good bad. Yeah,
Yeah, so three clubs shows a good three club bid, some extras. Michael's like, I'm off the hook. Little does he know.
yeah. Bobby too, right? Like, I think now Berkowitz can double and feel like he's showing his shape. Now he shows his strength. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah.
Yeah, so double, Michael will bid 3 diamonds. And I think there's 2 reasons to bid 3 diamonds with Michael's hand. One, if we bid hearts, it's going to sound more forward going to our partner. Partner might raise 3 hearts to 4
Yeah.
hearts, and that's not what we want. Just because 4 hearts is a game, but partner won't be raising 3 diamonds to 4. Secondly, partner often will show hearts and then bid diamonds later if he had longer hearts than diamonds.
Right. Right. Like partner could have 5 hearts and 6 diamonds, but I'll never. I shouldn't say never, but he's much less likely to have 6 hearts and 5 diamonds.
Yeah, exactly. So we're always going to be in at least our longest suit. And as I say this, Michael bids 3 hearts.
Yeah. Yeah. I like three diamonds, like mostly for the first reason that it's so much more likely to get us off the hook.
Yeah.
I have four hearts. I don't know how he's planning to play it, but if he can manage to pick off that king queen doubleton of hearts, I think he's gonna make this. Right, the diamond split. You don't have you only have this one club and one spade loser. You just have 10 tricks. I mean, unfortunately, we have no entries to these hands, so he really has no choice but to place another Herc.
Yeah, exactly. He is going to make this. But I'm guessing he's not thrilled to be here.
Right.
Because it's not just king, queen, doubleton of hearts, but it's like we also need the diamonds to not be 4-1 with the jack and south sand, because again, we have no entries to do anything else.
Yeah, Will realized before I did that, that you really just had no way to do anything else in hearts. I was not really thinking about quite how bad the East Hand was. Yeah, so meanwhile, they may have missed two games earlier, but they were not going to miss a third.
Wow.
So I see some scores coming in. What's happening here?
Yeah, so let's see how they got to six clubs, because it looks like Declare's line of play is almost like forced in this contract. He's just going to go ace of hearts hard and get super lucky. So let's see what happened in the six club contract. South opened a heart, just like in this room. 2 club overcall, 2 hearts. Michael Rosenberg, rather than showing his spades, bid 3 hearts to show a big hand with a club fit. And Zia just like leapt off into the stratosphere. 4 hearts, 4 spade Q bid, key card from Zia, 5, 2 with the queen, which might have been necessary to propel Zia into the slam. Well, I guess 5 hearts would have also forced them into the slam.
Yeah.
But exactly. Zia's looking for a grand. The opponents have opened a heart and raised to 2 hearts, and Zia's over here like looking for a grand slam.
Yeah, I've noticed the full explanation of 4 no trump. Or of 5 spades, rather.
Yeah. Michael wasn't sure 4-no was key card.
Right, I mean, even as many boards as these two have played together in their lives, you can still just, have some not super complex auction where you have no idea 4-no is key card.
Yeah. Yeah, the queen showing was basically because Michael had 4 clubs, and partner's always going to have 6 for this type of an auction.
Right, I mean, sort of the meta principle is like, the queen mostly asks for the queen, but really it's saying, do we have no trump loser, and a 10 card fit is the same as a 9 card fit with ace king queen. Mm-hmm. Like a 10 card fit with ace king is the same as a 9 card fit with ace king queen.
Yeah, Will says if North was 2-1 and the Reds with king queen of hearts and a small diamond, you can test the diamonds before leading a heart to the 10. You would need to be, I guess, a little bit careful about how you plan the play, but Declare should be able to manage it. So you are correct.
Well, here, Michael was not so happy at trick 1, and he's going to see his mood much improved here at trick 3.
This is like big sigh of relief. He was just like, David, please stop bidding over there. But he did really well. I mean,
not quite over, but it's basically over.
Yep. No. Eric can do no more than cash the ace of spades, and now Declare has not exactly a claim for the rest, but more or less a claim for the rest.
Yeah, it just needs to find the diamond splitting. I mean, is there
but wait, Will, what if Eric plays back a club?
Yeah, but what can we do other than rough with the 10, cross to dummy, and or this?
Okay,
like this is might take a diamond finesse.
Yeah, this is a lot stronger. And now that Bobby's pitched a diamond, I think Declare is gonna figure out what to do. Cashes the diamond ace, he'll see the diamond split, and then he'll just claim.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I
that
mean,
club for the rough slough. Imagine if Declare roughed with the 10 of hearts and then the diamonds were 4-1.
right. All right.
Nice result for Team Wolfson there.
That feels really good for East West.
Yeah, they're
Like
going to
maybe
need
just
it,
stumble
though.
into it. But yeah. Yeah, maybe there's just a lot of ways to stumble into that contract, but I feel like I'm pretty happy if I get there and go plus 620.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah. The King, Queen of Hearts did not need to be Doubleton.
No.
All right, 2 passes around to David, who opens a club. We have 15 in the north.
I would double and not bid a no Trump, but yeah.
Yeah, so Rodwell doubles. Club shortness, I mean, he would probably be happier getting to a major suit fit than being left to rod and 1 no trump.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is the kind of hand where if it goes, a club and no Trump and Camel's over there with a double, like you just lose 14 in your scorecard.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so
no
Michael
Trump
bids a spade
overcalls.
as his really important lead directional bid.
Yeah.
David's happy to pass with 3-card spade support. His partner's a passed hand.
Yeah, I mean he might end up finding himself competing to 2 spades. He does have a pretty good hand, but there's no reason to act now.
It looks really tough for Rodwell to take a call. 1 no trump would show way too much, and doubling again, I don't know. I wouldn't be happy with doubling again, but maybe it's the right bid.
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I was gonna say like that 4-4 in the unbid suits is kind of tempting, but it just feels like, especially when the opponents are bidding spades, like so we push them up to 2 spades and they make that. Like, were they really making exactly 80? Where now somehow we get 50? That just seems so unlikely. I think I would just defend and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby obviously had a chance to bid 2 hearts or 2 diamonds earlier.
Right.
Well, Michael has a little bit more information. David should have 3 spades for his pass. So Michael is able to bid 2 spades himself, and he does. And this probably ends the auction.
Yeah. And then defense, whatever. They'd rather defend 2 than 1, but it looks like this is going to make, although it looks to me to be the limit.
So there's 2 diamonds, 2 spades, and a club to lose.
And the clubs can provide discards for hearts, so and we can play to rough hearts or just playing clubs and figure. I guess there's a little work to do, but not a ton, right?
I don't know. It feels like there might be a decent amount of work to do. With spades 3-2, Declare, I believe, is going to come out okay. But
I mean, how about run this around to our hand and just put the queen of clubs on the table?
yeah, that seems like a pretty reasonable start to the play.
It'll lose. I don't know what'll come back. Maybe they just cash some diamonds and then exit with something, and eventually like duck a spade, cash the ace of spades, and hope everything works out okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, there's the queen of
Might go there.
clubs. Rodwell can win. And presumably he just backs a heart. Some of the defense you can kind of work out based on what Declare is doing. Like, obviously, if Camel wanted to rough hearts, he could have just won the king of hearts at trick 1. Yeah, okay. I guess Rodwell's going to cash a couple of diamonds first, but then Bobby will likely, I think, continue hearts to kill the entry to the club suit. So the fact that Michael didn't ruff a heart kind of indicates that he doesn't want to. Oh, never mind. Third diamond.
So now, whatever they do, the defense is just going to have one more trick. Broadwell's high trump.
Yeah. Now Declare can cash the ace of spades, run the clubs, and eventually get back to West's hand with a heart ruff. Okay, so well done. 2 spades been made. Other tables a couple boards behind. They're now playing that hand where Berkowitz had a big 5-5 in the red suits. We'll see if they end up getting to the game.
I think, whether or not it happens in this room, I think that's probably kind of normal result at a lot of tables, like just a lot of paths, and with West sort of being stuck and having to bid it.
I do. Okay, once we have a little bit of a break in the action, I want to highlight Michael Rosenberg took the line of play that I had mentioned in that 4 spade contract, stripping out the red suits, and it was beautiful. So I just kind of want to show it off, since I know that not everyone follows when I just spit out a giant line of play.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to illustrate this because it's a very pretty line of play.
Yeah, playing out hands in your head. I think it's something that everyone can learn to do, but it just takes a lot of practice to kind of get really comfortable with it.
All right. Bobby has a nice hand. He opens a club. Rodwell does not have a nice hand.
I think if you're Rodwell, you should bid here, because anytime Bobby's short in clubs, it's going to go all pass, and your red-white is going to be more than the value of their game.
Yeah. So that's generally a good piece of advice on these types of hands, that when you're not vulnerable, it's much safer to pass your partner's one of a minor opening bid. But when you're vulnerable, a lot of the times, very strong opponents will just pass out one of a minor and collect, +3 or +400, and not have to risk bidding 3 no trump themselves.
So I was gonna posit that he might try 1 diamond rather than 1 spade, figuring whatever Bobby does, he can pass it. But here he's bid reverse Flannery.
Yeah, showing 4 to 8 points.
But correct on shape, which is nice, because now, the danger is if you respond anything, Bobby bids 3 clubs or something, and at least now he has real clubs, but 1 club would have been fine. So here, Rodwell's just all right, I'm just gonna make sure we get to my best bid and hope to ruff a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but what is Bobby supposed to do?
Bobby's now probably going to bid a little too much with his 17 count.
I don't know. If partner's maximum, we can maybe make 3 no trump. That's potentially playable. If partner happens to have extra hearts, we might be able to make 4 hearts.
Yeah, obviously Bobby knows that his clubs are going to be tough to bring in because, Broadwell's average length is approximately 2.
All right, so 3 clubs is artificial and is asking Rodwell about his hand. So yeah, Bobby was thinking game if Rodwell has a maximum. It looks like they're about to get to 3 hearts, which I can't tell if that's good or bad for them.
Is there any chance they get to 4 hearts? I was wondering if Rodwell was just going to try to get out alive here, but of course, this, imagine Bobby over there with no more clubs than he had when Rodwell didn't want to pass a 1 club.
What was the sequence?
The sequence was Rodwell just trying to get out for the cheapest minus, and boy, did he fail that test.
Man, he really did.
Funny, he didn't want to go for a big number and 1 club undoubled, so, Camel probably was going to bid a spade, but who knows?
Oh
Actually, if
god,
he
and
had
David leads
passed,
a
he was going to
diamond.
do okay. I mean, East West might have gotten to four spades on this hand.
Yeah, and I assume that goes down, I guess. It looks bad.
I mean, spades are 5-0. That doesn't help.
Matt says sometimes it's right to pass forcing bids. It's true. This didn't feel like the auction for it when you were like, well, I have run from one club to three clubs.
Yeah. Rodwell knows whatever he does, you know, Bobby is going to take another bit over that, and things are just getting worse and worse for him. I
Yeah,
think, at some point, I think you just have to bow to the reality that you made a reasonable try, initially to get your side off the hook. That failed, and don't get your side more on the hook than you need to at this point.
that is a good point that, generally you don't want to compound the mistakes, if that's what you call it. Like,
Yeah.
as you say, you made the one try, you were hoping partner bid two hearts or two spades, and that just
Right.
ended the auction. Partner didn't do it. Um,
Yeah, at some point the doubling might start. That's not great for you. If the doubling starts with three clubs, that actually could be okay for you. Now you can redouble.
true, yes. I
Yeah,
do wonder
Bobby
what his
is.
responses were, though, over the three clubs that he was afraid of bidding whatever showed this hand. I mean, nothing shows this hand because he has one count, but
Right.
whatever showed like a minimum with 5-4 in the majors. If that was like three diamonds,
Yeah,
then
I don't know.
it feels okay.
Um, yeah, Bobby is like frantically checking Facebook to see when Stevie Weinstein turned 64, despite the result of the previous event.
Do you think we can get a sub?
I think there's a few years to go. I think Stevie is like 56 or 57 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, maybe not even actually. Um, 'Cause I think he was like I think he was still a teenager when he started playing high level bridge, circa 1980.
Will says three diamonds is the minimum with 5-4. Yeah, so like, why not just do that? Yes, you've. It just kind of feels like passing three clubs is cutting losses, but you still have a lot of losses. Whereas three diamonds, you might still end up in three hearts or three spades, and partner goes down one or something, and you're like, well, that's not so bad.
I take it back. I think Steve is probably just about 60. Let's see. He will be 60 sometime this year. All right, so in 5 years, Bobby never has to have this kind of auction with Eric Rodwell again.
He is counting down the days.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think having done this to ourselves, I mean, couldn't partner have the same 4-4-2-3 hand that we wanted to take him, out of one club with on the first round of the auction? I think we have to bid three diamonds, even though we could be compounding the disaster. But Lucky was right.
Yeah, now, I mean, Schmiebel makes a good point. I was thinking this earlier, but I didn't say it because I'm a bad commentator. Because Rodwell and Levin are a first time partnership, it's very possible that Bobby thought three clubs was asking and Rodwell thought three clubs was natural. And so that's why Rodwell passed, because he thought 2-no Trump was the asking bid in this sequence.
So I think that is possible, but I also think that there's no first time partnership possibly on the planet less likely to have that particular kind of accident than Levin and Rodwell. Rodwell obviously is a system savant, right? And Levin does an insane amount of prep work before these events. He treats being between tournaments as a full-time job, at least according to our mutual friend who has Bobby Levin on speed dial.
Yeah. Okay, Michael is counting trumps right now.
Yeah.
Like I just yeah, he's trying to make sure that he has a full count on the trump suit because he's
Right.
like Bobby has roughed one
Is
spade.
this really possible?
We tapped him again in spades again. So like does the jack of clubs pull the last trump and do I just claim or am I supposed to like do something else where I like exit the king of spades now? I
I think he will eventually remember how many trumps are in the deck, but like this is probably a good spot just to look around and double and triple check because it's such a weird position.
yeah. All right. So king of spades.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't claimed yet. But this might just be faster.
Yeah. Queen of spades and the jack of spades. So East West almost made the contract. They went down one in three clubs.
Boy,
So
Bobby must be
400.
angry. I mean, notice by the way, Berkowitz. What are you whatting?
Okay.
Oh, I see. What I was gonna say, by the way, notice in the previous hand, if Berkowitz had made a white-red overcall on, a 9 count but a 5 card of heart suit, his side would have done, vastly worse. As I think a lot of players would make that one hard overcall.
Yeah. No, that's a good point too. That like specifically on fairly weak suits, players do not like overcalling at the one level. Okay, well, we do have
Yeah.
another big pickup for Wolfson. As I was praising Rosenberg for his declare play in four spades, he ended up going down in four hearts on that hand where he needed to pick off the king queen doubleton of hearts. I haven't looked through the play, so maybe he did something different that was like brilliant and just didn't work out. But I will take a look. We'll probably pull up both of those hands during the break in between
Yeah, I look
segments.
forward to. I mean, it's certainly, I think it's likely that he spotted some extra chance single dummy, then, just like forgot that he only had one chance to make it. He's
Yeah,
a pretty careful player. Yeah, Matthew points out, like, I mean, yes, I think Rodwell has, you know, gone off the deep end on certain subjects, but also, you know, forgetting, whether, as Matthew says, he went mad. He hasn't played a high level tournament other than Atlanta in years because he skipped so many with his objections to getting a COVID vaccine. And that makes a difference by itself, right? Like, at his age, skipping 4 years of high level tournaments, like, it's very possible that that's had an effect on the quality of his game, just like not being, not just rusty, but like really out of practice.
right. Well, East West, I guess, are going to have some trouble defeating this four spade contract.
Uh, Two diamonds for. Well, I'm not sure why it would be alerted. It's just a qubit, right? So two people says two diamonds wasn't alerted, but I'm not sure why it would have been.
I don't know which auction Schmeebel's talking about, but yeah, this is
Well,
not
the previous,
alertable.
yeah, in the previous reverse binary hand, it was alerted. So
Qbids are not alertable in the ACBL, if that clears anything up.
uh, so right, it's so if two diamonds had been natural, I think it's alertable, didn't or did they rescind that because it was so dumb? Like there was a point where bids in the opponent's suit that were natural were alertable.
Yeah. If it's natural, it's alertable, but like generally Qbids are just not alertable because they show support
Right.
or they show something else.
Yeah, I mean I think the idea, which I think is kind of sensible, is like things that sound forcing that unexpectedly aren't should be alertable, and qbids that are actually natural offers to play fall into that category.
Hmm.
And I
Does
think
the
lower
USBF
levels
use
like
ACBL rules? I don't think so, but it's still unclear to me.
Oh, I see. Because in most of the rest of the world, qubits. I think in the WBF. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I'm not sure if in the WBF qubits that are like whatever, a heart, a spade, pass, two hearts, like if that kind of qubit is learnable. I don't know. Like I know in a lot of the world it is.
I have no idea what
Uh,
Declare is thinking about. I mean, this is just like the most automatic low spade to the queen, low spade to the
Draw
king
trumps and
claim.
claim.
Um,
Oh wait, why wouldn't you lay down a high spade from your hand to pick up the 10 in either hand?
oh, because then Berkowitz is going to fly ace and play a fourth diamond, and we have to guess.
Oh, right, I see. That's a good point.
All right, East shows out, and now we have a claim. We can face our hand and claim the remainder of the tricks. There we go. Well done. He claimed right on time.
Yeah, I noticed also a little bit of a wrinkle. So North South is the LOL team, but I believe it is sponsored by someone who is not LOL, but that person is now off the hook for any captainy responsibilities, which is something a lot of sponsors like, rather than like having their name in lights.
Yeah, Hemant Lal and Reese Milder have been playing together for decades. So,
Yeah, forever. But I believe Milner is sponsoring that team.
yeah. Pass, pass, a no trump.
Seems fine. I don't know. Down 16 count.
It is a
Like
balanced 16 count.
it does look better, but it isn't.
Bobby has had enough of his partner's shenanigans. No more declarership for Rodwell for the rest of the event.
Yeah.
King of Diamonds lead. So is this their power lead? If so, Michael's going to dump the 10 on it.
Yeah, I think virtually everyone at the high level, whether or not they're playing Rusino, does play Strong King.
Yeah, so now David's kind of like a little disappointed about how this trick has gone because he has no idea if he should cash the diamond ace, but if he doesn't, he's getting no more diamond tricks for the rest of play because he has no entry. So he just has to hope. Um, all right, there are 6 tricks off the top, but Declare will be able to take the rest from there.
Yeah. There's really no way for the defense to, for Declare to stumble into losing an extra trick or the defense into generating one.
Yeah, as Schmeebel says, I think it's if you're a reasonable bridge player, you'll just like alert things that you think the opponents aren't going to be aware what your bid means, and you're not going to alert stuff that you think is just like normal and no one cares about it. Um, so
Well, there's an extra wrinkle here, which is since all the alerts are self alerts on tablets, there's no information to be passed to your partner because your partner doesn't see it, but your opponents do. So giving more information like never puts you into a weird position. So there's just no reason not to err on the side of over alerting.
oh, well, you weren't here for the Gavin explanation because Gavin hates
Oh,
the alert procedures on the tablets. He provided like a real concrete example of why these alerts are like actually quite bad because sometimes you can give UI to your partner in situations where you and your partner aren't on the same page. And his example is like, imagine the
from the
auction starts at
tempo at which.
what?
Oh, sorry, go on. I was gonna say from the tempo. You mean?
No, from the bids
Oh,
themselves. So imagine the auction starts one no trump and your partner overcalls 2 diamonds. And you're
okay.
right, and you believe in your heart of hearts that 2 diamonds shows both majors. But now your
Sure.
right hand
Okay.
opponent bids 2 hearts and announces it as a transfer to spades. Now what do you think your partner
Oh, I
has?
see.
Now you think your partner has diamonds and a major. So
Well, or one major, which is hearts, right? If you're playing
Sure,
multi.
yes, yes. I mean, like, but now you don't think that your partner has diamond or hearts and spades anymore. Um, so, like,
But that would be true with oral alerts also, though, where the opponent's alerts are always authorized information to your side.
yeah, but the opponents
So,
wouldn't get this alert because you would alert your partner's bid as both majors.
oh, I see what you're saying.
That
But
your partner has
still,
alerted their bid as whatever it was he holds, diamonds in a major, let's say. And so your right hand opponent now believes that it's diamonds in a major, the quote unquote correct explanation based on your partner's hand. And therefore, now he in his system bids two hearts transfer to spades. And now you get the information that you and your partner are not on the same page. So, crisis avoided.
right. Where behind physical screens, that would all be happening on the other side of the screen. So on our side of the screen, we would both misalert our screen mate and, therefore get a misinformation in return, but our side would be the one getting penalized because we started it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I never thought of it from that point of view. That's really interesting.
All right. Well, we finished play in the one room. I am at the other table. So, kind of as expected, three clubs down four was not a good score for the LOL team over there. 11 imps go to Wolfson, who now has a 10 imp lead in the match with two boards to play.
Yeah, I should thank you for copying the WBF regions. I mean, I think the original point of the alert system, which I think is still basically what it's for, is stuff with unexpected meanings that you need to know about should be alerted. So,
Mm.
so I think generally, as long as so yeah, when it comes to doubles, most doubles, everyone kind of knows what it is. Like if there's some really weird conventional meaning, like a club, a diamond overcall, double showing a transfer to hearts, that should be alertable because most of the time we would expect that to be a normal negative double, where here is specifically a transfer. But you know, but I don't know if the WBF agrees with that view.
Well, Garner has a different view of what to do with the South hand. I mean, he faced a little bit of a different problem than whoever we were watching, Bobby at the other table in the South seat. Here, Michael bid a non forcing two clubs over the takeout double, and Garner just decides to jump to four spades with his five card suit. So, this club lead presents a little bit of trouble for Declare. He's going to need to get the red suits going at some point. All right, he does go after spades immediately. And if Zia ducks this trick, I don't know if he will, but if he does, then. Okay, he doesn't. So, second club does force Garner. And I guess he's safe because Michael started with six clubs. Even if he pulls two rounds of trumps now and runs the jack of diamonds and has to rough out the third club, exposing his queen of clubs, there's no way for Michael to get in to cash the king. So it kind of feels to me like this might be a little bit of a sloppy line of play, where if he had started on diamonds earlier, he wouldn't have had to worry about this issue in the club suit. But either way, Declare is going to make his 10 tricks here, it seems.
So as you say, he does need to find some luck here of the ace of diamonds being cut off for that club winner.
Yeah, Will asks if clubs are a favorite not to be 5-4. I wouldn't say favorite, But it did seem like if we got diamonds going sooner, we might have a decent chance. Obviously, if diamonds were 5-2, then we would have some issues by playing on diamonds before trumps, but there might have been alternative considerations. Either way, Declare does make 4 spades for a push.
I guess clubs are probably 6-3 for that two club bid, but Zia never had a chance to raise them, so 5-4 is probably in the picture.
Yeah.
Garner is one of this year's Hall of Fame inductees. Very exciting for him.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Actually, so he's been eligible for 9 years, I believe, but he declined. He was, of course, could have been elected. He actually, I believe, kept himself off the ballot because he didn't think he deserved to be a Hall of Famer before he had won a major imp team event, and then he won a transnational world championship in a Vanderbilt and said, "Okay, put me on the ballot." So of course he'd won a million events, including some very prestigious ones, in open trials 20 years ago, Risingers and all that kind of thing. But he wanted a spin gold Vanderbilt or world championship on his resume, and now he has both.
Yeah, well, very deserving to be in the Hall of Fame, of course. We do have a different auction once again in this room than we did in the other room. Over there, One No Trump was the final contract, but here, Zia. And I think we saw this not necessarily in the open trials, but maybe in the Vanderbilt or something. Zia was like hyper aggressive with overcalling a no trump on some really, really sketchy hands. That this one I think is much stronger than some of the previous ones he's done it with. Like sometimes he was 4-4 in the two suits. So I'm not surprised he's come in with 2 diamonds. Negative double by
This
Wolfson.
is nice. At least like the suit he's bidding is his primary suit. So interesting. So I was thinking actually, I hadn't really brought this up on stream, but the Zia Rosenberg partnership, despite being long-standing, it split up around 2010 because that was when Michael Rosenberg and Chris Lenkin started playing. I was living with him when he was working on his notes, and like that particular 14 years has been a really long time in bridge system development. Like I feel like all this like short club and transfers, like a lot of what we think of as high level expert standard today, post dates the breakup of this partnership. And I was wondering to what extent their methods might just be what they played back in the day that's a little outdated. And I'm sure they're the only pair in this event playing Don't, and possibly the only pair, possibly no one in the open trials was like, virtually no expert partnerships play this way anymore, and here they are.
That's oh my god. Well, look at this. Unless Rosenberg balances 2 spades.
Right.
Okay, we'll have to hold on that. But another big thing Gavin said is like he just wants to be able to have like 2 clubs, both majors, and 2 diamonds, 1 major over a no trump. He's like a huge proponent of having a 2 diamond bid to ask specifically about which your better major is.
That's why everyone plays Wolsey. I mean, if you like it's that 2 club bid where you always get your best major suit fit is indispensable.
Yep. Well, there we go. Michael didn't believe that his partner had hearts, and so now he's in the 5-2 spade fit. Oh my god, he's not. Zia's in 3 diamonds.
Well, Zia knows what's going on, of course.
Yeah, but
I would go farther. I think like you should just play land. If you can't remember all the Wolsey bids, just play Landy and everything else is natural.
Sure.
Sorry. You were saying?
I was just like, this is just your typical Zia auction. No one knows who has what suit, and somehow Zia's Declare.
So Schmiebel, though, my understanding is that multi-landy is that 2 club and 2 diamond bid, the 2 hearts, 2 spades, but the double showing 4-card major, longer minor distinguishes Wolsey from multi-landy, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, SHG asks, Craig, are you a bridge pro or a working dog?
A little of both. I have played bridge professionally. I have times in my life, including with Rob a couple of times, but I have a day job and, other than like theoretically being available if someone wants me for a tournament, I do not play bridge professionally. Certainly not full time. It's, the last time I played on a professional basis was before the pandemic.
Two diamonds.
Yeah, my day job is I am a rare wine consultant and advisor for mostly private collectors, but also for rare wine auction houses.
I wonder about this trump lead. I mean, a lot of the times against these two suited auctions, you want to lead trumps. But with Wolfson having 4, Zia presumably having at least 5, and Garner having at least 2, it sounds like preventing roughs and dummy is not going to be our top priority. Maybe Wolfson should have started with like the King of Hearts or something to try and get a heart rough.
Yeah, I mean that's possible, or even starting a club, which is a most likely tap suit when you have trump length.
Yeah.
Like Wolfson 100% knows what's happened here, right? Rosenberg thought that Zia suit was spades, but actually it isn't. So I think the King of Hearts is unattractive.
Sure. I mean, Garner
like
still
Wolfson,
did bid 2 hearts, but yes, it's true. Zia
right.
does have hearts.
Is it possible that Garner bid 2 hearts thinking that double was a transfer?
Hmm. Maybe. Maybe.
Because that 2 heart bid's a little weird looking, huh?
Yeah. All right. Garner needs to figure out what to pitch on this track. If he pitches another club, then... Oh. Zia might come out okay, because now he can play a heart to the jack, and then eventually get back over to East San with the ace of hearts to lead up towards the 9. And the spades are blocked. I mean, sure, spades are blocked, but the defense just has not saved enough clubs to cash out a bunch of tricks, so I think he's going to escape for down 2.
So, Matthew, in response to your question about how much of it is taste testing, so in a previous job, which actually I left over a decade ago, quite a bit, I was doing a lot of evaluating consignments for possible sale at auction, which does involve tasting to make sure they've been stored correctly. These days, I work from home and spend all day long looking at Excel spreadsheets like everyone else. I mean, some like for some of our private clients, I will go to tastings and events. I've got a dinner with Bordeaux Chateau tomorrow night in the city, so I won't be here. Chateau Ducru is doing an event to promote an auction wine from their cellars, and one of my friends is their U.S. agent and invited me. So, but yeah, not some, but not a ton. I used to have much more tasting opportunity than I do today.
Yeah, Ankur asks, should North have gone up with the Heart King when Declare led up towards the Ace-Jack third? Probably. Given that Garner had already pitched all of his clubs, it actually just didn't matter because he was just always getting end played no matter what the defense did into giving Declare a heart trick at the end of play. But yeah, I think frequently because if West had Queen fourth of hearts, he was always picking up the heart suit by playing low to the jack and then cash the ace. King would have fallen doubleton. It's a pretty common second hand high scenario.
Yeah, and here I think Z and Rosenberg are going to be very happy to find out this is a push board given how shaky their option was.
Yeah, so we still have a couple boards to go, but these are the results from this set. So Wolfson does defeat Lal. That is going to be important. Now they get the tiebreaker when they play up against each other in the real event. But also it's going to give them some confidence playing up against them in the 120 board match, given that they were able to win this 11. Goodman loses by a substantial margin to Capelli, which is surprising a little bit. Aker defeats Simpson, or at least Aker is ahead against Simpson. Tulin has beaten Reynolds, almost certainly. There's one board to go. Hammond had the bye. So the current scores are Wolfson in first after that round. Tulin currently sitting in second. Lal, Goodman, and Aker all above 30. So they're over average, even though Akers negative on the imps. Hammond, 27, a little bit below average. Capelli down in 7th. Simpson in 8th now, and Reynolds still pulling up the rear in 9th. So, yeah, it looks like Simpson's team, they had an okay start to the day, but now they've just been slipping throughout, and they have some work to do.
Yeah, that's a pretty good team to be. Obviously it's only been 3 rounds, but struggling a little more than I would have expected. I think Simpson and Cheek are new, but Beatty and Stewart have been playing together a long time. Gregorio Excel, not quite as long, but they've been playing for a couple of years now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so when we have a break, why don't you go through those Rosenberg hands if you want to, or something else, and I'm going to step away for a moment.
Oh, sounds good. All right. Yeah, let's take a look at the Rosenberg. I promised the Rosenberg deals, so let's actually look at that. I was going to pull up some of these last couple of boards. I think they're generally somewhat uninteresting. So let's head back over to, where was it? We were just watching Wolfson against Lal. We were in this room. Let's head over to the scorecard. I think it was the 4 spade hand. Was it this one? Yeah, so we had a little bit of a different auction here. Remember at our table, it started a spade, 2 spades by Berkowitz, north-south stayed out completely, 3 clubs by Camel, 3 spades, 4 spades. In this room, it went a spade, a no trump, semi-forcing. Looks maybe a little bit better with just a 4 count. Double by North. Questionable. I mean, he's 6'4" in the red suits, but he does kind of want to say something. If, I don't know, with short spades, maybe they could still have a game. 4 spades by Michael. So we got the ace of hearts lead from Garner. And then another heart. And I understand like this kind of looks like a little bit different, but the end position that we would have reached would have been equivalent, because instead of playing 2 rounds of hearts, had Garner, say, let a diamond or something, then once again, we can strip the diamond suit, exit a heart. They're going to have to lead hearts for us, so we're going to reach the exact same end position that Michael does here. So he plays 1 spade, and now he unblocks the ace-king of diamonds, plays another spade to the queen, roughs the diamond, and now it might look like he still has a little bit of a club guess, right? Like if he plays back the queen of clubs, Garner might be able to win and play a small club through. If he plays a low club to the jack, Wolfson might win, but he can just lead a club to the 9, and this is going to work whenever the club honors are split between the north and south hands. Obviously, if Wolfson has 10 doubleton of clubs, he'll win the 10, play back to Garner's ace-king. Pretty unlikely, both on the auction, given the double, as well as based on the fact that Garner didn't lead the ace-king of clubs. And then kind of similarly, Wolfson can't really have the ace-king of clubs. He's a passed hand. He's already turned up with whatever it was in the diamond and heart suits. So if he also had the ace-king of clubs, he would have had an opening bid in second seat. So this is a really nice play. Even if the 9 clubs loses to the 10, the opponent's clubs would be blocked. So they could only cash 1 more club, and then Wolfson would have to give a rough sluff, allowing Michael to pitch his club loser. So this was a really nicely played hand. This was the line of play that I was kind of alluding to earlier from Camel. But then on the very next board, let's take a look at what Michael did. I actually don't know if this was a good line of play, a bad line of play, or just, refresh. Okay, we're back. Or if he missed something or what happened. So let's see. 1 club by North, pass 1 spade. 2 clubs, Michael's, by Zia, so not by Michael. 4 clubs, natural by North, pass, double, pass, and Michael decided to pull the double to 4 hearts. Not unreasonable. He might have been worried that 4 clubs was making. Is he correct? 4 clubs is down 1. So I'm sure that he was a little bit upset when he pulled the double and saw partner's hand. But after a club lead, he rose with the club ace. And now he led a low trump. This might be over already. Because North can win, unblock the spade ace, and then lead back a low club for his partner to ruff. And then another spade promotes a trump trick. Wolfson won the king, cashed the spade ace, and returned a low club for his partner to ruff. It was just over from here. Wow. Now, let me see if I can figure out what Michael was thinking, because how does this line of play gain? I think this only gains on misdefense, which Michael understands who he's playing against, right? Wolfson is the sponsor of this team. It's very possible that Wolfson might have flown the king of hearts from like king third in this spot when he led a low heart from the ace jack fifth. So for that reason, I don't think this line of play is like entirely crazy, but it certainly looks silly when the other table just lays down the heart ace and picks off the king queen doubleton, and now the hand is over. So I do feel like there probably isn't some legitimate layout of the cards that Michael was hoping to pick up by leading a low heart, but he was probably just hoping that he could pick up some misdefense when the hearts aren't exactly king queen doubleton, which is highly unlikely in the first place. So a little bit unfortunate that not only did the other table just like play for king queen doubleton and it was there, but also Wolfson found this line of defense. Like if he had cashed the ace of spades and cashed the king of clubs, I'm sure Michael at that point would have been like, well, there's nothing more I can do. I just cashed the ace of hearts. Oh, look, the queen falls. Now I cashed a couple of diamonds. Oh, look at that. The diamonds split. Claims the rest of the tricks just like they did in the other room. But nice defense by Wolfson. I think he also knew that his partner's club lead was singleton, right? The five of clubs was led. This is the lowest outstanding spot. So it wasn't even like some sort of guess where he needed to decide, oh, maybe Declare has 10 doubleton of clubs or something. He knew that Steve had the singleton. Everyone at your local club would just play their aces and kings. It's true. It's true. So this is really nice defense. What VP scale are they using? It's not quite the NABC's scale. It's different based on how many boards there are in every round. So with 11 boards, I'm not sure the exact scale. I think it's on the USBF website. Let me pull up the website and take a look. VP scales. USBF, oh my god. Look at this. They have VP scales for every number of boards. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I mean, okay, so this is the VP scale that we're losing. Blitz is 50. And this is what we've got. So does this kind of line up? Let me check in on the scores. 10 imps should be 1330 and 670. There we go. 10 imps, 1330 and 670. You can't imagine using a 64 board VP scale. That also seems a little excessive. Should we take a look at what the 64 board scale is? Are they going to tell us what a blitz is? 120 and 64 boards? Is that really it? So win by 14 is already 12-8. Win by 40 is 15-5. Win by 40 over 64 boards. 15-5. This is so silly. Also, why do they have 56 in addition to 64? We don't have 60, even though nowadays we're playing 60 boards a day. There's also 22. They go 16, and then they jump by 4 to get up to 20, but then they go to 22. You're back? All right. Let me hop back in. Do you want to get in on this discussion? All right, here we go. A lot of European competitions are now 14 boards knockouts.
64 board Veep scale. When do they ever?
I don't know. We don't even play 64 boards anymore.
Right. What circumstance could possibly come up where we need to have that option? So who do you have your eye on for?
Well, let's see. We've now seen, I think, basically every team play. Maybe we haven't seen Acre play, but honestly, I just don't care about them. Let's never watch them play, if possible. Maybe we can watch Wolfson again, if we want. We'll just try and find like a match that is good for the standings. So where are the standings? Let me see. Standings are currently... Boom. There we go.
Yeah, it's
Wolfson
very
in the
hard to
lead,
find,
Tulin, Wall, Goodman, Acre are all chasing.
You found it faster than I did because I keep clicking on that stupid senior button that says coming soon.
Yeah.
So, wait, do we have the matchups for this set?
No, we find out when they actually start playing. Otherwise, I would tell you which one I want to watch.
Yeah, I thought the draw might have been posted somewhere, but obviously, if it is, it's on the USBF site, not here.
It's not
Maybe it
even
is,
posted on the USBF site. Like, I think it's just the players have it. They should just go back to total points. Why don't we just do away with duplicate altogether and play Chicago style? Maybe Goodman. Maybe watch the other pair on Goodman play.
Yeah. So that would be what? I don't even. I guess that would be Pratop and Babu.
Yeah.
I think Andy plays with Purcell. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen Pratop in a while. Nice to see him back. I don't think he was playing in the Open Trials.
No, but Conneru was.
Yeah, that I remember. He had played with he was playing with Jimmy Krikorian actually for a little while before Krikorian started playing with Weichsel.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's another Texan, although I'm not 100% sure of that.
One of the old Hammond teammates, is that what you're thinking?
Who, Gunnar, were you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like he might have played with, I was either with him or on some Hammond Law teams at some point.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I feel like they might have traveled in the same circles, as teammates for a while.
Yeah, and this entire collection of players, I'm sure, has been familiar with each other for decades, because this isn't like the mixed trials where we have a bunch of imports from overseas that are coming here to shape up all of the dumb Americans that are entering the events. No, these guys are all natural born and raised American. I mean, maybe not necessarily, but I think most of them are born and raised Americans.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I mean, other than possibly, one or more of the Indian Americans, and I think though, they're all U.S. By birth as well. But I think everyone here has always been an American.
Zia. Okay, fine.
Oh,
Zia.
Zia, of course, yeah, Zia's
Yes,
Pakistani.
that's a good point. Okay, but like, I mean,
Oh, and Rosenberg is Scottish, of course. I forgot about that.
okay, fair enough. But
Oh, and Billy Cohen is Canadian.
where is he?
On the Goodman team.
Okay, fine, fine. Are we done? Or do we
I
have
don't
more?
know.
I mean, maybe Pratap, right?
I don't have more. Oh, I said like possibly the Indian Americans. I'm not sure. I mean,
Oh, wait, wait,
Christoph
wait,
certainly
wait. Yeah,
sounds
yeah, yeah,
American
yeah.
when you talk to him, though.
Rosenberg, I think was born here.
Ah, I didn't know that.
I think I heard that as well. Anyway, this isn't the same as where like 2/3 of the team in the mixed team was not born in the
Right.
U.S.
I mean the rules for changing what country you represent are quite lenient.
It's not the same as running for presidency. I'll say that
No.
much.
No, I think it's a 2-year timeout between which countries you represent, and there is a residency requirement, which was not the case for a while.
Although, is that just for the USBF or is that for other countries as well? Because I'm pretty sure unless
No,
Canada
for the WBF.
Oh, that's for the WBF? Okay, I see. Oh, here we go. We are
Yes.
into round 4. We have Goodman against Lal, so we could watch them. There's Wolfson against Tulin, which would be a preview of the semifinals. Let's watch that. Wolfson against Tulin.
Yeah, so I guess I would rather watch the Becker Camel Suntech Cats table.
Yep, let's go there. It's good for Bridge that the rules are different from the US presidency elections. That's true.
Yeah, and they tightened them up after after Zimmerman started importing players to Monaco, and I think he actually did, give them Monaco residences that he had developed and owned, but still a little bit of a sham, as everyone knew.
Well, speaking of shams, I mean, look what Camel and Becker are doing to Sontag and Katz on this hand. They're just absolutely
Huh?
stealing the auction in two spades.
Yeah, and this is like that hand where Berkowitz made that kind of frivolous looking two spade raise. Like when you're white red, like just try to steal every hand until it stops working.
Yeah, now 3 no trump doesn't make north south because of the 5 spade cashers.
Right. Yeah, the three clubs is pretty comfortable, right?
Yeah. So 2 spades looks like it might sail down a trick. I mean, I guess Michael has a little bit of work to do to make sure he gets out for down 1, but it should not be that challenging.
Yeah, I mean, with the hearts splitting and the ace on side, you can just keep playing hearts, nothing come out okay, right? Just you draw trump, sending in dummy if you want to, heart to the king. They again start tapping you, but you're one round of hearts ahead of them.
Yep. I mean, it could be a swing. You know, if East opens a spade and West decides not to bid, I think it's crazy not to bid, but some people are kind of like rigid in their ways of like this West hand just doesn't have enough stuff, so I'm gonna pass. Then I could see North South getting to 3 now.
Yeah, I mean, so Matthew's asking about like the difference, whether there's a difference between moving to Monaco to play bridge for Zimmerman or like Billy moving to the US from Canada. I mean, I think from a rules point of view, I'm not sure you can account for this difference, but I think there is one. Like Billy moved to the US to live in the US, right? His life partner, Bronya, is here. He's been in the US for decades. Like, this is a true change of residency for more than bridge purposes. And like when Fantoni and Nunes went to Monaco, they kept their Italian residences. They had no interest in becoming permanent Monegasque residents, right? They just went there to play bridge, and everyone always knew, including them, that when that arrangement ended, they would be going back to Italy. Same with Helgamo and Helmus, becoming Monacan bridge players. They weren't moving to Monaco though, right? Like, I think that at least morally there's a difference, in their intention. But from a rules making point of view, you probably can't distinguish.
Yep. All right, Art to the King has held, and now Michael does get to just pull trumps, knock out that ace queen of hearts, and get out for down 1.
Yeah, so this is, not quite the result Becker and Camel wanted. Like they would have loved to steal a game instead of a part score, but you know, still perfectly fine from their point of view.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if the ace of hearts was in the other hand, Camel would have been down 3, but then game would be making. Not in no trump, but in the minors.
Yeah, I mean, so that's true, but I thought that I was asking about the free movement people, but I thought that Norway was not part of the Schengen area, although I could be wrong. Which countries are included in the Schengen? Of course, this is an alphabetical, which is super annoying. Current members. So I'm wrong. Norway has been part of the area since 2001. So it's true. Although, the Norway tax authorities figured it out because they threw Gare in jail for a few months.
Ooh, look at this. 11 cards in the red suits for Sontag. He's going to get first crack at this. Third seat favorable.
Yeah, I know certainly no players who would open one heart, and I understand why, but I don't think I would. I
Yeah,
really don't like
now,
just rooting
would
red
you ever
lights.
consider preempting this hand in third seat? Apparently not.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I think I would want like if I had Singleton Jack fifth, Ace King six Singleton, sure. Queen Jack nine eight six. I feel like I'm not quite ready to give up on the heart suit.
So Sontag does open one heart because he's
That's fine.
old. uh,
Well, and also because if you open a diamond, it's still going to be hard to get hearts into the picture.
yep.
Heart leaves, makes it easy to get diamonds in the picture. It just distorts your shape, which could be costly on some layouts.
Yeah, so how's this gonna go? A heart, a spade overcall by Camel, 2 spades by Cats showing a limit raise. I think Becker bids 3 spades competitive with 4 trumps.
And
And Sontag's gonna bid 4 hearts. He doesn't know. Wait,
I
he might
think
bid 4
so.
diamonds, but I would expect him to maybe just bid 4 hearts. He doesn't know who's making what.
Well, if two spades showed exactly three hearts, he does know that this could go south for him by getting tapped out, but he still might just not have a choice but to bid four hearts.
Yeah.
This hand is going to be pretty uncomfortable if it starts black suit tap, and Nothing good is happening in diamonds. Like here, we're gonna have to rough a diamond high and hope to draw trumps, which is a little awkward.
Yeah, but that's like perfectly fine.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, it's the same as you still just need the same 3-2 break, but partners trumps don't have to be ace king third, right? Like this hand, and then he could have stronger diamonds, whatever. But like, yes, I think Sontag knows that like this hand has a lot of pitfalls.
I mean, it's really nice that Katz has the ace king of hearts, right? Like that's the big thing because now
Yeah,
he's cold on 4-1 trumps. Um, at the and 3-2 diamonds, but like he doesn't need the hearts to split. He gets tapped, he goes ace king of diamonds rough high, king of hearts heart to the queen, jack of hearts. The opponents still have the 10 of hearts out, so be it. We run the diamond suit. 10 tricks. If he got pushed to the 5 level, then things would be different, but neither east or west at these colors wanted to bid 4 spades. So this heart switch is not going to concern Santi at all. Runs around to his 6, in fact. Now 2 rounds of diamonds, rough a diamond high, unblock the heart king, and he can just claim 11 tricks. Is this better? I'm thinking. Like if
maybe. I
Camel
mean,
has a singleton diamond and this gets roughed and then he plays, I guess he's out of trumps. Eh.
and he will beer more importantly.
Oh, that is important. Can't be worse. If hearts are 4-1, could it not have been worse? We play a heart over, someone shows out. I'm not sure. I
Yeah,
guess it's yeah, it's probably better. Don't you bid 4 diamonds in case of the opponent's going to bid 4 spades so that your partner can know what to do next? You can. Sometimes you don't want to tell the opponents what your hand looks like.
yeah, it is often a good strategy on hands like that. Is true.
Like if he was favorable, he probably would have bid 4 diamonds because now the opponents are likely to bid 4 spades, which is pretty likely to be a make, and then he would want his partner to know that we can save in 2 suits, diamonds or hearts.
So, meanwhile, North has kind of a weird problem here. You know, kind of a normal pass in second C, but now his partner's opened 2 clubs and he has this freak show of a hand.
My God, yeah, you're right. I also think I said the thing backwards, but I'm just gonna move on. We have a new hand, so probably you start with 2 diamonds, just waiting because
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not good enough to bid 3 clubs, and also it's so preemptive. I mean, maybe shit is good enough to bid 3 clubs, having not preempted, but that could make it really hard to get spades into the picture.
mm-hmm.
Just put it on. The track partner's trying to get it on. Once you open 2 clubs, it seems fine. But, ew.
Yeah. So Katz shows 22 to 24 with his 2-no rebid, which I guess means they aren't playing Kokish.
No, wouldn't this be? I mean, isn't that what he has, right? Kokish would be starting with 24-ish. Like this, like, oh, yeah. I mean, who knows? If they're playing Kokish, maybe their Kokish starts, like 24 plus something. I don't know, or maybe they just aren't. Not everyone does.
Well, so Sontag has bid three clubs. Three hearts shows five. This, I believe, is Puppet Stamen, but I'm not certain. And now Sontag finally can show his hand by bidding four clubs.
I don't see three hearts alerted. Do you think it did show five?
No, I have no idea. It seemed like the alerts are a little bit less common than they have been in the open event.
I do not think that Katz has shown a fifth heart.
Okay. Well, Sontag finally does describe his hand, so he has four spades and longer clubs.
Yeah, of course, this probably is more than five since he's going past three no trump, but certainly doesn't have to be seven. I feel like six is probably the expected number here.
Yeah, now Katz
especially
has
in
a
past
pretty
hand.
good hand.
Yeah,
I mean, just like in general, right? His bid showed 22 to 24, and okay, he has 23. Wait, 20, 22. But they're all aces and
22.
kings.
Right.
And despite only having two
Monster
trumps, he
backwards,
has the ace king doubleton, which are pretty good cards. So, like, he can cover all of partner's red suit losers ace king of hearts, ace of diamonds. He has the top two trumps. His partner's clearly making some sort of slam try. He wants to cooperate. So, four diamonds cubed, four spades cubed.
Seven clubs is really good, right? You just need to be able to, either set up hearts for, to pitch that last spade or find a spade queen on side.
Yeah. And the fact that it's
Like
right
they both
sided
come in,
is nice.
right? Yeah, and it turns out both things work, but seven clubs, I think, is probably a pretty strong favorite. I mean, setting up ace king jack fifth is not great, but it's never worse. Well, I guess clubs could be 4-0, but it's usually not worse than the spade finesse.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like they have missed keycard, and that's going to make it difficult to get to seven at this point.
Yeah.
Like, four diamonds looks like a cubed, four spades is a cubed, and note how Sontag didn't cubed shortness in partner's heart suit.
Mm-hmm.
Why start with Stamen? Did we care about spades? Of course. Of course we care about spades.
Yeah. And, and by the way, like, partner could have five of those, right? Like, sure, most of the time when he was three spades, he doesn't, but he certainly could. And then we really need to make sure that we've gotten them mentioned.
Yeah, like, this is a fine way to show spades and clubs on North's hand. Slamish. If you just start with three spades and show single suited clubs, then, I don't know, like, do we want to be playing in six clubs, opposite ace and a club, when partner has king, queen, fourth of spades? Probably not.
Right. Right, so we have a couple of I see we have four imps on that first board.
Katz passes. I want to see this auction in the other room. I guess we'll pull it up once they get there. What was 5 no? I assume it's pick a slam. I think Katz is saying, hey, would you like to play in 6 clubs or 6 no? We saw this 5 no pick a slam earlier in the day.
There might be some implication of a fifth heart at that point too. Like, if there's more than one strain in play, then the other one kind of has to be hearts, and if it's hearts, it kind of has to be because Katz has extra length.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think 5 no trump was invitational to 7. I mean, if it was, I guess Sontag wouldn't accept anyway. They just really needed to find out that, like, ask about key cards, I think.
Yeah, and this, like, I don't think they really had a chance to, like, by the time they set trumps, it was a little too late for that. Like, probably 4 diamonds would have been their key card bid, and Katz can't key card over 4 clubs because he hasn't set trumps.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think either of them are going to be super happy with this auction.
All right. club lead. Are they considering six spades? No, absolutely not. Maybe at match points or border match you would, but definitely not at teams.
I think, Katz just didn't know, like, for one thing, he doesn't know how long Santi's clubs are, so he has to, make sure that Santi has some input into a six-level strain decision. I think that's
Yeah.
all that was going on here.
Yeah, Will says 6 no at match points. 6 no feels like a really bad spot because I guess it's better than 6 clubs. But it's like you really want to take the spade finesse to try for an extra trick, but sometimes the squeeze is just going to work out. I don't know. I guess 6 no is still better than any other small slam, but obviously 7 clubs is just excellent. All right, Ace of Hearts pitch a spade, King of Hearts pitch a diamond, maybe even the Queen of Diamonds.
Yeah, well, obviously we'll see a claim after this trick since we only need one more trick and the Jack of Hearts will be it.
Yeah, there actually just isn't a guard squeeze, so pitching the Queen of Diamonds doesn't really work. Like if the only person who could have all 3 guards would be Becker, and like we can't squeeze him because he pitches after the south hand. But 1390. All right, we'll see if that produces a big swing. What's going on in the other room? Do they get to the grand or not? It's a tough one. You're off all these queens.
Yeah.
And this is why queens are just like not good cards, right? They took no tricks and yet they made up 6 high card points of the East-West hands. Or, sorry, 4 high card points of the East-West hands, just the spade and heart queens.
Yeah, and it's it's good. It's not like it's a trick one claim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 2 passes to a club. Katz has 19.
As
Diamond
usual.
overcall. So do we make a negative double with North, or do we just bid a spade?
No, it's just a spade. What are you? Well, sorry, I take it back. I don't know. I would. I don't. I feel like it's potentially very dangerous to show 4 spades when we have 5.
Yeah. But so your plan is it's going to go 1 spade, 2 diamonds, pass, and you bid 2 hearts? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're past hand, right? Nothing we do is forcing.
Sure. Support doubles.
Pass.
Support doubles over the negative double. Yeah, there we go.
Wow, this is a double over the negative double. I mean, this double just says Chino rebid, I think.
Yeah. He could bid 2-0 himself, but...
Yeah, double's better, though, right? Like, it's more flexible if partner, was supporting our suit. It's not like our hand really looks like 3-0 is playable despite our 19 points. Like, this is the kind of hand where partner turns up with a 7 count and says we got 26 highs. You're like, fantastic.
Yep.
Like, you just don't expect it to play very well.
That's true. Although now he does know about the... I was going to say 8-card spade fit. Maybe he doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, like, by the way, look what happened here, right? 4 spades looks better to me than 3 no trump, and here they are, because they couldn't diagnose the 8-card spade fit.
Isn't his stopper too weak for 2 no trump? I mean, I don't think so. Sometimes you just have to show your hand. Like, if you're 18
I don't
to 19.
think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, the problem is just our hand doesn't look like 3-0 is going to be great unless partner is a little enthusiastic about it. Like, doesn't have to be a lot enthusiastic about it, but he can't just be raising, out of obligation. I think, like, when he's doing that, 3-0 is going to be horrible.
So how bad are things going to go here? Doesn't double show this hand? I mean,
I
I
think
don't
so.
think double shows 18 to 19 balanced. Um, I believe
I
double
mean,
shows a hand that's takeout of diamonds.
I think double just says partner, my hand's really good. That can be true in a variety of ways. This being one of them, like a 2-no rebid that for whatever reason chooses not to bid 2-no Trump, or I mean, it could just be like if you had like you couldn't have a singleton diamond. I think then you would just bid 3 diamonds or raise one of partners suits. But I mean, if you have like a 3-3-2-5 18 or 19 count, what else can you do but double?
Okay, can I cut you off because I think ten of spades
Yeah,
three no trump's gonna make
this doesn't look like a great start for the defense.
this. Declara just needs to duck the ten of spades. He needs to play for the king of hearts on side. He now knows the king of spades is on. Oh my. I don't know if
So,
he will duck the ten of spades, but he can make it on this lead. Holy cow,
oh, I
because
see. If he
Michael was going to get in with either the ten of hearts or
and
the king of spades on like different defense and be able to put diamonds through. Like, in fact, if Becker had just led diamonds, Declare was going to be in trouble.
right.
But man, this ten of spades lead is not the thing that the defense wanted to do.
I see. Yeah, if he wins this, Camel saws an entry to put that queen of diamonds on the table.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he should make it, right? Like, I feel like he's sort of playing double dummy at this point. Like, once he knows about the king of spades in East, and probably some minor diamond honor, West kind of has to have king of hearts, ace of diamonds.
you would think, and so it's imps, and he can be safe, right? Like he can duck this trick, cross to the jack of hearts, take a spade finesse, unblock the spade ace, cross to the ace of hearts, run the spades, cash three clubs. He takes four spades, three clubs, and two hearts, and he makes his tricks. But he might like win the jack of spades, hoping the king of spades is falling doubleton. I think it's probably not a great play. But if he's not sure about the king of hearts location, then he might do that. Wow. What a lead. I don't really understand what West was thinking leading the ten of spades on this auction. I mean, it sounded to
No,
me
neither.
like Sontag bid two spades over the double because he has five, right? If North was just 4-4 in the majors, he would have always pulled to two hearts over the double.
Yeah, and I think another like right, it doesn't just kind of two-step 3-no Trump. I mean, sure, the leap to 3-no Trump maybe is a little strong sounding, but when Cat didn't bid 2-no Trump over 2 diamonds and then also wasn't looking for a major, this sounds like maybe he didn't have like an emphatic no Trump bid, so a diamond lead could work. I mean, Michael Waddell is suggesting diamond to the king, diamond back can make things kind of interesting, and that's sometimes a classic way to play a hand like this, like let the opponents run their four things and hope something good happens because they have to be pitching stuff.
Okay. Moment of truth. He ducks the ten of spades. What a play by Katz. Oh my
Um,
god. Well, this could be a huge swing for Tulin. Very much needed.
yeah, I think
Jeez.
I think that's right. I mean, I'll give it to Franco because he can always like he's always good with these, and I'm sure he'll like having a new interesting deal. But I think that's right. I think on a diamond to the king and a diamond back, Declare does make it.
Um,
What do you want needs to be pitching?
Well, I'm not saying East has to pitch. Like, what happens if they play back a club when they get in with the diamond?
Oh, I see.
I
If West declines that gambit, yeah.
I mean, okay, like I'm not convinced that Declare isn't making it after all of this, but I think that it's not as simple as just like we can play back diamonds and they take 4 diamonds and he gets squeezed in like 4 different
Right.
suits, which would
Yeah,
happen.
that's true.
But
Right, I guess
yes,
it's true though. West is allowed to not squeeze his partner.
yeah, I suspect Declare would still make it if he took that line of play. I also think that's not the line of play Declare would take single dummy. I think single dummy Declare would play a heart to the jack, a spade to the jack, and cash the spade ace, and hope
Yeah.
that the king of spades fell doubleton.
Yeah, it's certainly has the advantage of being really straightforward when anything else needs many more things.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Well,
Spade back around to the jack. We can unblock this ace of spades. I mean, the
amazing.
last piece of good news we need is for the heart finesse to work, but that's almost a guarantee. Nicely done.
Well,
PJ says South
we
is
have
pretty good. You did not tune in for round
yeah.
one. No, I mean he's a very good player. Like he hadn't had his breakfast yet. We'll say that.
So the other team, well, I haven't seen the auction, but they got to 7 clubs.
Jesus, they did. Oh my god,
That's
and they won 13 for it. We'll pull that up momentarily. Shiro asked, "How do we approach leading in this case against this type of an auction?" I mean, it's like a little more complicated than we have been raised a suit, so we lead that suit. But that tends to be a pretty good choice of opening lead in general. Um, it just, I personally try to avoid leading the opponent's suits. Sometimes it can work.
yeah.
Like if you're leading through strength and dummy, which maybe West was thinking he was doing here with the 2 spade bid on his left, it is possible that a spade lead could work out. But generally, I just try and like pick out the opponents showed this suit and this suit. Therefore, those are off limits. Let's try something else.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the other consideration for me, specific on this auction, is South opened a club and made this double. Like, yeah, he's got a good hand, but probably not a rock crusher. He could have cubed at some point. Who knows? North is a passed hand. Like, a diamond is obviously going to be horrible when Declare can win and then run off the next 8 tricks. Usually with the help of a long club suit. That doesn't seem super likely to me, given that like this auction kind of sounds more like they were feeling their way around to the right contract.
Mm-hmm.
And if our side ever gets in, we know a diamond lead is very likely to beat it. So I would declare could have king queen of diamonds, a partner could have an entry, and then we absolutely have to lead a diamond to trick one.
Right? Now, Camel has a discard to make on the Eight of Spades. I mean, I'm going to pull up the auction to 7 clubs because Declare is just fighting for over tricks. It looks like, yeah, Camel does throw the Queen of Diamonds. Very nice discard, by the way.
Yep.
So now the clubs are,
That's a good play.
or the diamonds are unblocked. And, now the spotlight shifts to West. West can technically get end played. Declare could go ace, king, queen of clubs, stripping West clubs. Heart to the ace, heart to the queen, and West has to lead into the diamond king. Anyway, I'm going to pull up the auction to 7 clubs. I think I have discussed 3 no trump enough, but this was a really nicely played hand by Katz. North opened a club. So Wolfson opened a club on the 9 count. South bit a heart. A spade by North. 2 diamonds game forcing. 3 clubs showing clubs. Garner does the thing that I always say. I love doing this. When you know that your hand is like a slam thing, you just pick a trump suit. So Garner's like, okay, partner, you have clubs. 4 clubs is trump. We are starting cubiting in clubs. 5 clubs by Wolfson, who has nothing. 5 diamonds by Garner. Double. What was redouble? Okay, I don't understand the redouble. In theory, this would be first round diamond control. Garner's like, I've heard enough, seven
Yeah.
clubs. Wait, what happened? How
Uh,
I'm gonna refresh, but I just pulled up the thing again,
what is
and okay,
what
okay,
what?
okay, 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 okay. We're good. We're all totally good.
Are we?
Yeah, Katz has then played Becker and Diamonds. You probably need to refresh. I just like,
Oh, I do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was looking at yours. I was like, oh, okay, we'll let this out of close. We're just down now.
yeah, it's just like I didn't understand how that could possibly have been the thing. So yeah, sometimes when you pull up a separate window, it just breaks
Yeah.
Love Ridge, which is fine. Future Brewgraph.
Yeah, that happened to me yesterday when someone led something and then the next two players revoked, and it turned out that somehow it got confused with the previous trick.
Hmm.
Okay, so pretty pretty bad result for East West. I would say it's a good result for North South, but mostly it's a bad result for East West.
Yeah, yeah, not the strongest defense, but the hand would have been interesting on a diamond lead for sure. So
Maybe
South opens a heart.
we'll get to see how that worked out in some other tables because I bet it did happen. At least a few tables in this event.
Oh, probably for sure. I guess I can pull that up and take a look. That was board 37. How many other
Oh yeah,
tables have
there's a
played it?
yeah. I forgot the
Everyone
frequency
else got to
button.
spades, and like I'm sorry, I
Oh,
don't
of
want to
course
look
they
at the
did. Yeah.
scorecard anymore. I'm gonna bring it up because like, how is it possible that there have been three different results in spades?
But yeah, of course they did because no one else made that negative double that Santi did.
What's played as a 3-no opener? Basically, everyone plays 3-no opening as gambling. Some people have different styles where you can either play it as showing no outside controls, or you can play it as showing no outside controls in first and second seat. Sometimes people will play it as one outside control specifically. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
my
usually.
yeah, my personal preference is totally pure in first and second, solid minor, nothing else. And third and fourth seed, it just says I have a solid minor, but also want to declare 3-0 Trump.
PJ
Um,
says single suited majors becoming more popular. So does that mean increasing in
um,
popularity from like 1% to 2% of the population? Or are you thinking like a large chunk of people play it?
See, also, four of them, four of a minor preempt, when pairs play Namiats, like, where four clubs and four diamonds are unavailable, so 3-0 shows your four of a minor opening.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, North South here are off to the races. They've had no trouble getting to this good Heart Slam.
Mech and Zia were playing it in this event last year. And look what happened to that partnership. Now they're completely split up. No. But yeah, I guess some people will play that.
I mean, it's a fringe method, but a fringe method that does have some real expert support.
Can I check two hearts? I can't. It hasn't been described yet.
Um,
No alert.
probably just guaranteed a six card suit.
That's true.
I mean, there is an alert, but no explanation.
Right. Yeah, not yet.
I think not yet and not ever.
Well, this has gone pretty well for North South. As long as there's no diamond rough, they're going to be in great shape.
Why does that even matter? Oh, sorry. You mean like a 4-0 diamond
Yeah, like
break?
4-0 diamonds. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking like just drop Trump's and claim, but I forgot that he's not on lead yet.
Yeah. Let's cash all 13 of our tricks. All right, King of Clubs. I'm sure Becker's going to do the whole look around thing and try the Ace of Clubs, see if that one works.
It's not really possible, but I guess he has nothing else to try for. Yeah, and Santi, by the way, notice pretty light game force even with his heart fit.
Yeah, he probably just didn't feel comfortable doing anything else. Like, if a no trump can be
Yeah.
passed. Actually, I thought we saw them play no trump was forcing systemically, so maybe Sontag could have done that if he wanted. Um, but, like, if a no trump could be passed, you really don't want that to happen on the north hand. And three diamonds is just a terrible, terrible bid.
Yeah. So one of the specs is saying, three diamonds, presumably meaning raise two diamonds to three. I think the problem with it is if two hearts does show a sixth heart
Mm.
and you don't bid it, partner's never going to believe you have six of them. That could be really important.
Oh,
Like you
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah,
always
yeah.
support diamonds later. I don't like three diamonds here. Like, we bid two hearts, partner does something. Now we bid three diamonds, and it feels like we've described our hand pretty accurately. We have a sixth heart, but also like diamonds. And we can even pull three no to four diamonds at some point if we need to like really confirm like no partner. We have good diamond support. We just have this other thing we needed to do first.
Yeah, so ATN, it's very common in the US that raising two of a minor to three of a minor shows four. It's also fairly common that it shows significant extras. You don't have to play it as showing extras. You don't have to play it as showing four, but that's pretty common as a treatment. So I think a lot of these players are playing that for part one. But part two, generally, what do we want to do in our two over one auctions? We want to conserve space. So if they have both a two heart bid that shows their hand and a three diamond bid that shows their hand, they're going to make the cheaper bid, and that's two hearts.
Yeah, I would, disagree very slightly, and rather than say significant extras, kind of more like when you have four, I think, most players would do it with any hand they don't hate. But yeah, raising on three, as you say, is rare. Like there's usually something better to do.
Cohen and Smith play 3-0. Opening is 25 to 27. I don't know if this is believable. I'm gonna I'm gonna check
I mean,
this.
they might just not like gambling three no Trump and choose not to play it and just not have a better use for the bid than that.
Can I still back out of my pre-arranged partnership with Ron?
Yeah, right.
um, let's
And gambling three no Trump is not a great bid, right? Because it does put the wrong hand in dummy. Like, cashing out against those when there's a cash out to be had is usually pretty easy.
my god, they do play it as 25 to 27.
It's fine. Like if you never opened a gambling three no Trump, you probably wouldn't miss it.
It's true. I haven't opened one of those in a long time. I do have an update
Yeah.
though on that three no trump board. Two tables led a diamond, and the contract went down one. I'm gonna take a quick look at how the play went, but my guess is it's something along the lines of heart finesse, spade to the jack.
Mhm.
Hold
Right
on,
now,
hold on. Yeah, spade, ace of spades eventually playing for the king doubleton, and the other room. Yeah, it was the exact same. Everyone just played a spade to the jack and ace of spades, hoping for the king doubleton, which seems pretty reasonable. Oh, and if people care, let's take a look at double dummy after a diamond to the king. Um, it looks like, yeah, the big play is basically to back a diamond, but you have multiple opportunities to back a diamond, and the opponents are going to get squeezed. The heart suit being frozen is kind of the important factor for the deal.
right, that makes sense. So let's see if East. Yeah, I was gonna say so. Like South made this, kind of three clubs, like not really forcing, just saying, kind of denying a club stopper since he would have been too no if he had one, and Poor North really had nowhere to go. He'd already showed his fifth spade. I guess he could try three hearts, but North South really just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, if only they could have found their way to four spades. I mean, it's obviously not easy, but that looks like the best chance for a game contract. Hello, Norm. Welcome.
Maybe they should, right? Like, South is not a club stopper. North has 8-4. Like, obviously, he was just hoping they were 4-3 and they would survive it in that way, which maybe is reasonable. Like, I think South can't have a singleton club. He probably would have raised two spades to three. So, but like, if he does bid three hearts, South bid three spades, and ace and one, North can raise that. But I think North knows that 3-0 is probably the right spot anytime clubs are 4-3, so this is a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Like, Sontag probably knew South's exact shape and
Yeah.
knew that there really wasn't a club stopper. But as you say, when South has ace of spades, ace of hearts, ace of diamonds, the opponents take four club tricks off the top, and then what? You're probably
Right.
cold from there. So, unlucky.
Let's see if this is a second seat window opening for North. I suspect not, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, if only Santi could like put some of these strong clubs into the previous hand. Updates in all matches. Every match this round is actually quite close. Oh, I did say that the Capelli Reynolds matchup might be an important one to keep an eye on. It's 12-10 currently. So both of those are teams towards the bottom of the standings, the four-handed squads.
Yeah, I think as I recall, Reynolds was in last place and Simpson was about 3 victory points ahead of them.
Yeah, Simpson and Capelli are just barely ahead of Reynolds right now. All right, a club takeout double. Katz bids a heart. Becker's going to pass, so we'll see two clubs from Sontag. And then I wonder what Camel's going to do. He has 15. I mean, he could double again if he wants, which is pretty reasonable.
I Yeah, I mean his hand looks better to me than, like, than just some random 15, right? Like, especially since we have 4-4 in the opponent's unbid suits.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
you
he
want
does
Becker,
decide to
so
pass, probably figuring that they don't have a spade fit. Becker could have bid one spade
right,
over a heart. So
right.
his only real takeout is to diamonds at this point, they have missed a diamond fit, but it's not a big
Two
deal.
clubs is gonna make, so it's something. Two clubs is cold and two diamonds certainly has reasonable chances.
Brendan, I don't understand the question. Would the best outcome for 7 no trump be to have the ace, king, queen, jack of every suit? I mean, you'll make 7 no trump.
And no, that is not correct. I will, if I can find a link to an article, I will do so. If there are any other old timers there. Jeff Rubens once wrote an article called Theater of the Absurd, where it was like bidding problems that like on their face are ridiculous, but he was like making a point, and one of them was how to get to 7 no redoubled when you have 13 top tricks.
It is true. It can be a skill to try and get the opponents to double you when you know that you have enough tricks in your hand to make your contracts. Yeah, and as Schmiebel points out, like when we just have 13 top tricks, everyone's going to be in 7 no trump, so it's not
Right.
going to be we won't win the board, or we won't win imps or win the board a match or match points or anything.
All right, so so this article doesn't have a hand, but it does have a couple of them, so I'll paste this into the chat. It was an interesting series.
Looks like Declare is going to make 9 tricks here. That spade to the 10 has been pretty effective. So the queen of spades will set up. King of diamonds takes a trick. Declare still has a heart that he can score along with 3 clubs. So 110. 2 clubs making 3. We will keep an eye. So they reach 6 hearts at both tables on the hand where you just have 13 top tricks when you get in. But that previous board, if Wolfson can get to the 5-2 spade fit, they might have a chance to win a game swing. Now, I think in this end position here, Michael should exit the jack of spades. I really do not like the 2 of hearts.
Yeah, does he kind of know almost everything about this deal by now?
Well, he does, but like he doesn't win a part score swing if Declare had the jack of hearts and miss guesses. And Declare would still have to guess if he had the jack of hearts on his own when we exit the jack of spades.
Right.
Declare would be stuck in dummy. They have to rough the 6 of spades back to hand. And then North is back in and has to guess the hearts himself. As it was, when we exit the low heart, not only did we, Declare didn't have a guess, but now we got squeezed out of the ace of hearts for an over trick for 130.
Yeah, a little embarrassing. Could just cashed it a trick 9 or whatever.
Wasn't 3 no trump a mistake? Should North bid 3 hearts? I mean, we talked about it a little bit. Like, Sontag knew Katz's hand. They didn't have a club stopper, but 62% of the time, the opponent's clubs are going to be 4-3 instead of 5-2. And then he just has 9 cashers off the top, 4 hearts, 3 spades, and the ace king of diamonds. So 3 no trump is going to make 62% of the time, or even more when they don't lead a club and clubs are 5-2. Or possibly even more when Camel has ace king 5th of clubs and leads a low club and partners queen doubleton scores at trick 1. So I think Sontag did something very reasonable by bidding 3-0 on that hand. It just didn't work out. But Wolfson, not only did they bid the game, they got to 3-0 trump and they sided it from the other direction. So Woolsey, I'm going to quickly pull this in, 2-0, transfer to spades, 3-0. Woolsey on lead did not find the killer king of clubs lead. He just let a heart. Declare had 9 top tricks.
Yeah, he had a 12 and 13 chance of blowing the contract, and so he did.
Yeah.
And king of clubs is the only winning lead, so. And I think what Santi did was, very well reasoned. Just, sometimes things don't come up, the way the percentages want them to.
Yeah. So, yeah, to respond to Brendan, having all 40 high card points means you're guaranteeing 7 no trump makes. You do. Yeah, like if all you're concerned about is like, can I be certain that 7 no trump is going to be a cold contract, then yes, you would like to have all 40 high card points between your hand and dummy. Isn't 4 spades also a good option? I mean, maybe, but sometimes spades are 5-1, and you just lose 2 spade tricks and 2 club tricks. I don't know if you're right. You might be right that 4 spades is a little bit better if they could see both hands, but Sontag also couldn't see both hands when he was doing bidding, right? He doesn't necessarily know his partner's diamonds or ace king. He doesn't know partner has the jack of hearts. So Will has spent the last 20 minutes working out a hand where you can go down in 7 no trump with 40 high card points.
Yeah, I was trying to think of one also. In fact, I was going to ask the kibitzers whether there was such a construction.
I'm actually not convinced, but I'm sure Will has thought about it. I have not. So you know, if you have the hand, please post it. And also, if you're interested in fun 7 no Trump contracts, my very first video in the story time um, playlist is pretty good. Oh, I see. I see. I see. I see. You're giving voids
Oh,
opposite the things. Sure.
yeah,
I was thinking balanced hands, but yes, that's a very good point. If one hand's unbalanced, you just exit to the hand that doesn't have running cards, and they eventually lose to the 10.
yeah, sort of like the same class as the Duke of Cumberland hand, if you know that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now we're getting just like a bunch of examples. Okay, I clearly missed the point on on this construction. There are just a billion examples where you can go down. Um,
Yeah, I think what to make a small slam, the minimum number of high card points is what, five?
well, a super fun exercise that I do like to pose is how many
Oh,
tricks can
five,
you
six, seven.
take
Thank you, Will.
with 0 high card points? And this is actually like a very interesting exercise to work on. Like, what's the maximum number of tricks you can take with 0
Yeah,
high
yeah,
card
yeah.
points between your hand and your partner?
And um, I don't know, but I'm sure this is solvable by brute force if nothing else.
It's so I
And
feel
presumably you
like
start by having 10 ninth in some suit in one of the hands.
it's more complicated than you think because then your partner's void in that suit and they can just cash all of your outside tricks. Um, Trump suit must be 2-2. There, we're getting some good discussion in chat, but it's actually like a very. I'm not going to give away the problem, but I think it is a very interesting exercise if you like working on puzzles. It's very like I don't know if people have seen like the Sherlock Holmes chess puzzles or whatever. If you're into like game puzzle type things, where Sherlock you set up a position and it's like whose turn is it to move, and Sherlock Holmes, who is supposedly like a chess grandmaster or whatever in this fantasy world, comes in and is like, well, this must have happened, and then these pieces must have been like this, and therefore it is Black's turn to move or whatever. But I think this is very similar to those style puzzles, so I would highly recommend if you're interested in like bridge puzzles to think about it. Speaking of bridge puzzles, it seems like Declare has puzzled his way into potentially going down in 4 spades.
Yeah, and obviously the Trump suit was a little unfavorable. Um, yeah, there was, I don't remember who wrote it, like maybe Frank Vaughn or something like that. There's an article in, no, it wasn't. I don't know, maybe the Kings wrote an article, yeah, same thing, where like there's a murder and the solution is the reconstruction of a bridge hand, and you see it at, whatever, and can like work the play backwards to figure out who the murderer was.
Yeah. Those are so fun. I like those. But
Yeah, it was a good article.
but yeah, like I'm not going to definitively say that I was the first person to come up with and solve this puzzle, but I came up with it in high school. I shared it with Joel, who likes puzzle type things, and Joel had
Yeah,
never
very
seen it
much.
before. Um, like I haven't shared it with Kit. I mean, maybe it's gotten to him at some point, or maybe he like already knew about this idea. But Kit would probably be someone who would potentially know whether or not this was a thing that people had done before.
Yeah, I guess like I mean, obviously, I know Kid is really into problem solving. I don't know how into like fully abstract puzzles he is, but it would not surprise me if he has solved this one for himself at some point in his life.
Right. Yeah. Um, but anyway, chat, there's your homework. For tomorrow, someone come back and tell me how many tricks you take and give me a hand where you can do it.
Max tricks with the opponents having all 40 hiker points.
Yep. Shira says, could we discuss minimal and maximal hands for
Yeah,
preamps and how pros currently play depending on like conventions and whatnot? I don't. I think everyone plays things a lot very differently. A lot of people play these multi two diamond preamps so that you have two ranges of weak two, and your multi can be like 5 card suits. It could be like 3 counts or whatever, like balance 3 counts effectively, and then also, then your two of a major preamps are like 8 to 11 or whatever sort of range you want to show for that. But I don't really have any good suggestions about how to evaluate hands. I think it's just more distribution is better. Stronger suits is better because you're less likely to get doubled.
And I think, ultimately, like, it's okay to be very aggressive when you preempt, and it's okay to be more old school when you preempt, but it's not okay that your hand could be either and partner has to guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
that's a
Okay.
big thing. Like,
That's
your range just has to be sufficiently narrow that partner can make a good decision.
yes. This is an important question that I think will trip up a lot of less experienced players. If you have a 6 card major, could your hand be too strong for a preempt and too weak for one of a major?
Mm.
No, absolutely not. No one anymore really plays like there's some sort of intermediate range for preempts that like you're too good to preempt and not good enough to open. Um, so that is an
I mean,
important question.
so I would expand on that very slightly. Just say though that I think the hand does exist where it's unsuitable for a preempt, even though it has the requisite strength, but also not suitable for one level opening. Like, Queen six, stiff king, I don't know, like God knows what. It's like some hand where like vulnerable where you have the right number of points and the right shape to preempt, but there's just some unacceptable flaw. But like, yeah, like it's continuous range though. Like, there's no hand that's too good to preempt, but not good enough for one if it's suitable for a preempt.
Dude, what is
Like,
Camel
I don't like.
doing? He is so
Um,
lucky that his partner has the diamond 10. Holy
yeah, I
cow.
mean,
What I mean, that rough slough like could have blown this contract. Sontag can now pull trumps and lead a diamond to the queen. Like if Katz had queen 10 of diamonds here, he was just claiming. Oh my.
uh, well, if he exited Trump and though wouldn't. Oh, I see. Because right, he doesn't know what's in Katz's hand. I think if he exited Trump, like the.
If he exited
Oh
Trump, he
wait,
would
no.
always just get the jack of hearts at the end of play.
Is that true? Not if Katz had the 10 of diamonds, right?
Yeah, he would because like the rough slough gave up a trick. Like Katz could have cashed 2 diamonds, but he still only pitches 1 heart. It's still ace queen third of hearts opposite 10 third in the end
Oh,
position.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this was very scary by Michael. I mean, he spent some time on it.
Yeah.
I was not following the play too carefully, so gonna reserve judgment just a little bit. That looked suspicious. That club exit. Can we have a hand that is too bad for a 1 bid and too bad for a 2 bid? Also, good question. I think yes. Like, if you think your hand just it's not worth an opening bid, whatever that means, and it's also not worth a preempt in your style, then you can just pass. Um, a 9 to 10ish count in a horrible suit. I mean, I would probably open that at the 2 level. If you're asking what I would do, like if you give me a hand, I can look at it and tell you. Like if the hand qualifies for preempt, I would still preempt it. But yes, it's definitely possible that your hand is not good enough to open because it's just not an opening bid, and it's not good enough to preempt because like your suit's bad or it doesn't meet some sort of requirements in your partnership for loser count or something. That's certainly workable. Speaking of preempts,
Yeah,
oh
I
god.
mean, obviously not gonna be last year. Also, like it comes down to personality too. Like I play with, like when I play with Isai Low, who's a maniac preemptor. Like there are hands that he thinks are routine that I think he's out of his mind to open, but we just both know that about each other, and that's fine. Like no Marty Bergen, when he played with people, he would preempt like a complete madman. His partners would be a little more down the middle. Like it's fine to have different opinions. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
can't play different systems, but you can absolutely have different judgment.
Yep.
It's like some of the hands you're talking about. It's not my style to open, but whatever. My partner does it. Who cares? They do what they want. And meanwhile, I mean, Katz does have at least all of his trump spots, so that'll minimize the damage here.
That's
And I guess
true.
that you know, West now can put a spade on the table though, and this is going to get pretty ugly. Spade, diamond, spade, spade. West still has two trump tricks.
Yeah, I mean, if I guess I guess Katz will still get his 4 trumps, right?
Well, I'm thinking from the defense's point of view, they have one trick so far. They're going to get one diamond, that's two. They're going to get three spades, that's five. Oh yeah, right, two hearts, so that's down three.
PJ says Bergen would preempt on 4 card suits because the opponents never have shortness, and so they can't double.
Yeah, no, that's true. The ACBL put the Marty Bergen rule in place for exactly that reason.
Oh, is this the
You
like
must
you can only have 1 card shorter than your expected length?
I mean, I don't know if that's the equivalent of what I'm about to say, but the rule was you must have 5 cards in your suit and at least 5 points.
Oh, I see. Because the current rule is that it's a psych if it's a disparity by more than 2 cards in the suit. So, like, if your 1 diamond opener promises 4 and you open a diamond with 2, then that's a psych by definition.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
But if you open a diamond with 3, it's not a psych, it's just a deviation.
Got it.
Then
Yeah,
you
it
just have
is
5
no
as your
longer
expected
legal.
length. See, exactly, right?
Right. Yeah, no, 4 card week twos are not legal in the ACBL, so you just have to open three. And when I used to play with Dave Treadwell, 20 years ago, he loved opening three of a minor, but especially three clubs on 5 card suits. Like diamonds, at least he could open two, but couldn't open two clubs. He would just bring out three clubs.
Okay, Becker has played a diamond to his partner's jack.
Yeah, that doesn't look great. Like it's probably fine. I guess he's just hoping to get another club through, but this is feels like it's just not optimal, even though I don't know that it's going to make a difference for the final result here.
I don't think it makes a difference. It looks like down 2. Declare is just going to lose the ace jack of hearts and 3 spades.
Or possibly two spades if he pitches on this.
Yeah, he'll definitely pitch here. Pitch a spade loser. Did we have a prediction? No, I've forgotten to do predictions for the round robin stuff. Just remind me tomorrow, if you're here. Yeah, so the question about the week twos was because Shiro says there's, I guess, a bunch of people who open on King 6th, And sometimes even when they're unfavorable, it's just a style thing. If that hand is
Yeah.
in your range for a week two, then you open it. If that hand's not in your range for a week two, you probably pass. Um, if you're asking what my preferred style is, like there are hands where I have king sixth and I would open
Sure.
vulnerable against not. I mean, you would probably have to make the rest of my hand pretty good. Like, let's say my hand was void, king sixth, king fourth, like queen third. I would open two hearts.
Yeah, and I might or might not, but if I had like void, king six, king jack 10, 4, 3 little, I 100% would.
Yeah,
Even though like I'm a more conservative preemptor than you and more conservative than, most tournament players here in 2024, I just, I mean, honestly, like every hand is different and you just have to look at each one, you know, like not totally independently, of course, because you're going to have like your kind of general philosophy about these things, but, to say like, well, what do I do with a bad six card suit? I can't answer that. I need a full hand.
yeah, yeah. Three level preamps on six card suits, again, like it just depends on what you and your partner agree. But a big piece of it is making sure that you have narrow enough ranges for your bids that your partner can actively, judge whether or not to bid game or sign off.
Yeah. Particularly important for like three of a minor where, if partner has like a 15 count with ace doubleton or ace third of your suit, like he's either always going to bid 3 no trump or virtually never bid 3 no trump, but he needs to kind of know that whichever one he always does is going to be right. So, you can either have a hand where that's right, or you can have a hand where he never does it, but you can't have like queen six sometimes and king queen jack 10 seventh other times.
Note that East West make 3 no trump on the previous board. They have entries to take two spade hooks. It's just 9 tricks off the top, 5 diamonds, 3 spades, and the ace of hearts, even if they don't get a club trick. That is
Win
correct.
3, Ralph Katz. Well played.
Yep.
Yeah, so certainly East West are not going to be taxed in 3 no trump here either, I don't think, with 6 top tricks in the minors, the ace king of hearts, and a spade trick.
Yeah, the clubs split. Diamonds don't.
Yeah, I mean, so no fit is very different, but like a partner has enough to count 9 tricks if he solidifies your suit and can't count 9 tricks if he doesn't, then he needs to know the answer to that question every time it comes up.
Oh, the old guys aren't playing the Puppet Stamen gadget? Yeah, I don't think it was around back in their day. So they haven't picked up on it yet.
Yeah, so again, like this is a partnership that took a long hiatus. Camel played with Marty Fleischer for quite a few years. He's had some other partnerships since that one broke up in favor of Marty playing with Martel. But yeah, I think Three Clubs Puppet was not a thing when he and Becker stopped playing, and they're probably just playing their old notes.
Yeah, I was going to say Michael's hand might be a little bit good. Like, he does have 14. So if he was thinking slam, I mean, he has no aces, right? So, like, slam is a little bit far fetched. But if he was thinking slam, going through 2 clubs to show the diamond suit on the side would make a lot of sense. Like, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 3 diamonds. Now we might find a diamond slam. Yeah. But he does decide to just bid 3 now, so that's a little weird.
Right. Yeah, agreed. Unless they just don't have puppet available.
Right.
And then you just ask for a major, and when you get the wrong answer, bid 3 now.
Mm-hmm. So 2 hearts, 3 diamonds, and 5 clubs would be enough tricks. I think we want to win the king of hearts here, unblock that club, cross to the diamond ace, and test the club suit.
Yeah, I mean, on a good day, or I guess, this is Rob Ace King. On a good day, we run both minors and take 13 tricks fairly easily.
Yeah. Communications are a bit tangled. I mean, not really, given that they have that we have communication in both red suits. it's not the most obvious hand to play, but if we go up with the Heart King, unblock the clubs, cross and diamonds, like now we still have communication to see if the clubs split or the diamonds split. I guess we can't really test 4-2 diamonds before doing something. Is that enough tricks? It would be enough tricks. You know what? Maybe there's a case at Imps to just play on spades, win the Ace of Hearts, unblock the King of Clubs, and lead a spade. Like if clubs are 5-1 and diamonds are 5-1, then we can just set up a spade trick for the ninth trick.
Yeah, like super safe, and probably we'll like on this Queen of Hearts lead, given our heart spots, we'll probably, even when the other good stuff is happening, we'll still take 10. It's just not a huge deal.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'll be
maybe
back in
that's
one
actually a better
second.
line of play. I mean, it's hard for me to be certain. Like the over tricks matter.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's potentially three imps when we were making them all. Except it's only one imp when our counterparts at the other table did lead a spade and cash two off the top. So that makes a difference also.
Hmm.
You know, if at the other table everything is breaking, but our teammates just have it at 660, or 460 immediately, then we're only playing with one imp. I'll be back in just one second.
Oh my god. Well, this was not the result for Bramley and Woolsey in the other room. Let's see what Declare does decide to do. He does run the heart around to the ace. I think he is going to unblock the club and play on spades. The reason I'm not convinced by this line of play is not necessarily the over tricks. It's like sometimes we might have to guess. As ATN is saying, communications aren't easy to manage. Like, let's say North wins the first spade and plays back a low heart. What are we doing then? If we win the king, now we're at risk when we set up the last spade that North wins and cashes a bunch of hearts. Oh my god. A heart to the king would never have occurred to me. But when the jack pops up, this makes things easy. But if we stick in the 9 or 8 of hearts, now South might win and play back diamonds, kind of like cutting our communication in certain suits. So we'll have to win the diamond ace. Now we have to cash clubs. Otherwise, those clubs might get stranded. And that could set up a club trick for the defense. We also have to make discards from ace sand. I guess we can pitch diamonds safely. It looks like we might be able to do everything. We could lose a heart, 2 spades, and a club, right? The 10 of clubs always stops the suit.
It looks like another big swing went in Wolfson's direction. I see.
Yeah, I was just
Instead
going to
of the
bring that up,
hypothetical
so we can
3-0
look at that
trump,
now. A diamond, a heart. So Bramley opens a precision diamond. 1 heart by Woolsey, double by Wolfson. We've seen that he's been pretty aggressive with these doubles. I think a lot of people would overcall 2 clubs. 2 clubs by Bramley, patterning out. 3 diamonds by Woolsey, invitational. And Bramley, for whatever reason, decided to bid 5 diamonds and not 3 no trump with his really nice spade stack.
Yeah, I guess he didn't like his singleton hard and his 4 little clubs, but yeah, costly.
Yeah, and I mean, Garner didn't even like try and get a club rough. He could have let a club at trick 1. He just let a spade. But Declare had nowhere near 11 tricks, so ended up going down 1.
Yeah, I think I like 2 clubs better, but I don't hate Wolfson's double. If you need to get space in the picture, that's the best way to.
Yep.
So he will win 1 imp for his 490 here. Yeah, notice at the other table they did lead a spade from king fourth. So playing super safe was only ever putting 1 imp at stake.
Right. So 3 no trump, 12 tricks. We got one board to play left in the match, but it looks like Wolfson has gotten the better of Tulin here. It has felt like Wolfson has performed quite well. Lal and Goodman are maybe the next two teams on the roster that we should be looking at, but Tulin, who is currently the 4th seed, has fallen in a couple of matches to the higher teams.
Quite a tough day for Reynolds here, in last place and, minus almost twice as many imps as the next to last team.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up the cross table so that we can take a look after this match concludes, because if I can figure out how to get there. Results and hand records, senior round robin, found it.
I was going to say, hit the scores button and then there's the cross imp.
Wow. Well, it looks great for Wolfson, but I will let everyone know that Wolfson has already played against the 3 current bottom teams in the standings. But we will take a look at the scores once this hand concludes, or once this match concludes. Katz opens a heart in 4th seat, a no trump by Sontag. Presumably Katz is going to just sit this one out.
Oh, do you think he's going to pass a no trump? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, North's a passed hand, so game is basically impossible. Thing like if North wasn't a passed hand, I think you want to do something as South, to protect him having like an 11, even a bad 12 count.
Right. All right, Queen of Spades lead. Looks like standard honors to me. So Declare can play low.
I mean, probably just given again that Rusno became popular after the partnership went on hiatus. But even Rusno pairs would want 4 to lead the jack against no trump.
Right. So Michael has to switch. And it looks... Well, I mean, he might continue the jack of spades now that 3's been played. I don't know if they're playing standard or upside down. I guess I could take a look, but it is the last board. Yeah, looks like Becker encouraged, so Michael continued the jack of spades. Oh, never mind. Standard signals and honor lead. So Michael just decided to continue the jack of spades regardless. This is going to make Declare's life pretty easy. Club to the ace. Now he's going to go after setting up the diamond suit for some tricks. That also splits 3-3.
Right, but if Becker ducks twice, I mean, the adventure has nothing else to do, unfortunately, but he'll momentarily be cut off from both the long diamond and the clubs.
No, the 10 of spades is an entry.
Oh, that's right. We have forgot that Camel would continue spades. Yes, this is going to be a zillion tricks.
Yeah, now the jack of clubs doesn't drop, so Becker probably exits a spade here. What would we do as South if North wasn't a passed hand? 2 diamonds. We can't reverse into 2 spades. Yeah. 2 hearts would promise extra hearts. So 2 diamonds is the only bid that we can make.
Yeah, not ideal, but nothing else is suitable at all. I mean, I guess we could pass a no trump, but I would be very nervous.
Also, do they play Gazilli?
No, they do not.
I'm sorry, we've just been asked if a US pair plays Gazilli, and the answer is no. An emphatic no. No one in the US plays Gazilli. We did see a lot of it in the mixed event, just because the mixed players tended to be made up of females who were born in Europe and grew up playing Gazilli and American males. But why did we pitch a spade? Why did we pitch a spade? All right, Sontag has kind of misguessed the ending, but he did successfully end play Becker into leading hearts into the King Jack. No, don't be sorry. It's always amusing that people are like, everyone from Europe is just like watching the American trials, and they're like, okay, so two clubs is Gazilli here. No, it's not. No one over here plays Gazilli. Right. It's a great convention. People should play it, but no one does. Let's see what's going on in the other room.
I do wonder if, over time, as like partnerships break up and new ones form that don't have notes at all, like everyone knows it's really good. It's just probably a little too much work to revise your notes with someone you've been playing with for a decade.
Looks like Two Spades has made 3. Also, why does it say no result yet in the other room? Did I break it? I might have broken it.
Yeah, it's not on the scorecard, actually. Is it possible that, like, no one hit the accept button, or maybe it's just some, Loveridge nonsense? I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. But Two Spades made 3 over here. They got to the 4-3 fit. South balanced over. Woolsey's weak no trump, 10 to 12. That range is still laughable to me. So let's take a look at the scores of this round. Looks like Wolfson-Tulin just concluded 44-17 in favor of Wolfson. Capelli is leading against Reynolds. So that means Reynolds, I guess, is still towards the bottom of the standings. Lal has defeated Goodman by a hefty amount. And Hammond and Aker are pretty close, which means our scores
right?
Look like...
Lal has not defeated Goodman quite yet. There's still one board left.
Yeah, there's still one board. But these are the current scores. So Reynolds actually looking like they could potentially be in serious trouble. They're back by over 6 VPs. Simpson is second to last, but they have a little bit of space. But now, I was thinking Capelli might be in some trouble. They've moved all the way up into 4th after today. And Goodman seems pretty safe. They're ahead by over 15 VPs. Outside of 9th place, Tulin's there, Hammond, Capelli, and Aker. And then really the top 2 teams, Lal up at 49 and Wolfson up at 60. But I do want to bring up the actual cross table because this is something that, might dictate a little bit better what's going on. So Wolfson sitting up here at 60, you might say, oh man, they're like so much better than the rest of the field. They've already played against Tulin, Simpson, and Reynolds, who are down at the bottom of the table. Reynolds has even played against some of the other teams towards the lower end and has lost to them pretty heftily. It looks like they might be on their way out. Whereas Lal, for example, has already played against Wolfson. Of course, they lost. It was a fairly close match. They lost by 10. They've already played against Goodman. They've defeated them. They've already played against Capelli, who is maybe surprising some, myself included, being up here in 5th place. They've defeated them. So Lal still has a bunch of the lower seeded teams or lower ranked teams currently for tomorrow. Same with Hammond. Same with Goodman. So I think this is a little bit misleading that Wolfson is all the way up here at 60. But these are our current standings. And that is the end of matches for today. So...
yeah. If you want to pull up very quickly, you can pick up the, the Butler... looks like it's kind of formful, at least at the very top. Of the 6 places, 4 of them are Wolfson, of course, duplicated since Garner's playing in 2 partnerships.
Oh, yes, there we go. This Butler. Yeah. Wolfson.
So hit the I button, and that's aggregate. That's instead of round by round.
Yep. Here we go. So... actually fairly impressive that 2 of the sponsored pairs who have played 33 and 21. I guess they're still in the middle of a match. They have one board left to score
Right.
in the LOL match, but Lol and Milner, they've been playing together for a while. These practice partnerships do quite well. I mean, as I say that, Berkowitz and Camel, it's probably their first time playing together, but they're doing fine. But Wolfson and Garner up here, as you say, Camel and Becker, Garner and Berkowitz. I mean, very impressive
Yeah, the
run for them.
Sontag, despite some shakiness on a couple of boards, Russian Sontag Cats, they've been doing pretty well all day.
Yeah. And the Hammond squad is actually, like, look at this. They're in 11th,
Yeah.
12th, and 13th. They're all, like, very consistent. So that's
Yeah, they're
nice.
within a fraction of an imp of each other.
Rob, did I know Justin Law? Justin and I were very close. Yes. We never played together, never played on a team, but we would always, like, hang out after the games. He and I were really good friends back when I used to play pro. But Michael and Zia down here, Bobby and Eric down here, the LOL team, if it wasn't for Lol and Milner, who are just carrying the team on their back, putting it up there, both of the other pairs, and just walking up heftily to the other squads, they're almost averaging 3 imps aboard. That's crazy.
Yeah, 2.78. So like more than double what the second place pair has.
Yeah, it is a small number of boards that they played, but it's still pretty impressive.
Still.
So anyway, thank you, Craig, as always.
Yeah. So I will not be at your disposal tomorrow. I've got work to do and then the wine dinner, but hopefully I will be able to join you later in this event. I'm sure I'll be lurking tomorrow during the afternoon sets.
Sounds good. All right, thanks
Cool.
for joining
Good
me.
night.
I will see you later.
Bye.
All right, chat. We're done for the day because there's only 4 matches. Now we start up again at the normal time, whatever that means. The normal time, I think, is going to be around 11:15 a.m. Eastern. And then there's going to be a slightly different schedule for the lunch break once again, just because, I don't know, like these round robin matches are different numbers of boards. But hopefully by the time it gets to Tuesday, when we get to the quarterfinals and we've knocked one of these teams out, which looks pretty likely to be Reynolds at this point, to be honest. But we'll see. There's still 5 matches tomorrow. Anything could happen. I will be back here as usual. I don't think I have plans for a co-caster for tomorrow, but I will run the whole way solo, of course. And thanks for hanging out, everyone. I know we got a couple of new viewers today, which is always fun and enjoyable. Hopefully people have enjoyed the cast as usual. But we'll be here the entirety of the week covering the seniors and possibly even the women's as the week progresses. So take care, have a good day, and